Hey you guys, welcome to part 2 of the big tier list of a lot of mappers. Not all, but a lot of mappers. BriaN is also with me again here. If you
Hi.
didn't check the last video or like you forgot already because I don't know the time span, here's the current list so far. It's a little bit different. I got more goats actually. But else it's like also more an excellent I think. But it's not shifting too much. I think the only one insanely shifting is Strong GT, but oh well.
Yeah, because Strong GT for me is here and below average.
Yeah, for me, it's a legend. Strong GT is the best map of all time, basically. Not
That's,
quite.
that's a diabolical take still.
Anyway, we got 566 mappers left. So, we're in for something here.
Yeah, as we promised at the end of the previous episode, this was gonna be a fucking banger, because we're gonna start off with some more recent players and mappers who some of them I don't even know, but then we are gonna talk about uh some controversial people,
Oh,
some
yeah.
arguably legends, some very notable features. So yeah, excited for this episode.
And I think we're gonna start right away. We're gonna use the same method that we developed in the last part. So basically, first I take the row, and then BriaN will under my WhatsApp is yeah. Let's go WhatsApp. Um, but yeah, I will start with the row, then BriaN will, and then we maybe conclude one of thing or two, and then go on with the next. So you're up to date there. I'm just gonna quickly mute the WhatsApp here because it's some random group chat I don't care about right now. So. I'm gonna start. We're gonna start a little bit more soft, though there are also a few names that are interesting. I'll start with those I don't know, which would be Bistro. I've never heard of him. Meg, also not really, can't think of anything. And I would also put Bro there because I'm aware of Bro's maps, but I can't recall any in particular. That would be the names I will just toss in there already. And start with Flint. Now, Flint is an interesting one already. Flint is very I would say super below radar actually, and with a lot of different map approaches. I mean, there are flatland Flint maps like Dallas with Jill. There's also like the Neutrino series, which is more HDM. I mean, overall, I think he is mostly HDM. He has also the soft HDMs with Benny. Like I forgot the name of it. There was some feat with Benny, the guy from Trapped. Yeah, he's a little bit all over the place in some cooler feats like Fiction, some less cooler maps. I think Flint in the end would end up average for me, actually. Because there's like some better, some worse, so overall pretty average. Black Angel is a little bit a sweet spot for me because Black Angel, for those who don't know, he's like the guy who made the hentai map, which is a really good map, or the Corona-chan map, or overall pretty anime weirdo maps. And I am an anime weirdo, therefore I like Black Angel maps. He is not really a qualified super good mapper, but same time his maps have some sort of charm, so I would put him above average because like I enjoy them a little bit more, but I can also see yeah, it's not like the crazy cool maps or something. I just like it. Shen, honestly, I only know Give Up. I'm not even sure if it's the only map of him. You can
Yeah,
actually
it's other
I would just go for Give
you.
Up and say he probably has way more potential. Like if Give Up is like his thing he does regularly, then holy hell. I wish there was more of him solo map wise. I don't know. Maybe there is. I will leave that to BriaN after. But I really like Give Up. Then there's Spotlight in front. The thing is, Spotlight I think was part of Harbinger. That one feat with Gerg, and also I once talked with him. He had some maps, and he's like he has a very anti-nature approach. I recall with his decoration ideas. I'm not sure what he mapped apart from his Volume 2 and the Harbinger map. I I think he is average. I accidentally put him here. I think he is average. Might be a little bit above that. It's a little vague here. I just put him on average for now. And Thrune I pretty much only know from his Volume 1, which is kind of cool. in the end, though, from what I can recall with the name, it's just all very average to me. So I'll leave it at that.
Rune Volume 1.
If it was maybe I just mixed the name with some other that's kind of like the same.
Maybe because he has 4 volumes. I'm just surprised because it's such a, I don't know, weird.
Actually, I mean, actually, I don't have the MTA open. I just look if I find a YouTube recording. Maybe, oh
I'm
wait, or
sure
was
you
it
know.
Frown? Was it
I
Frown?
don't think so. Oh, he's not.
Oh yeah, wait, I mixed him with Frown. That's my bad. Then I don't know him. Then I don't
Prune
know
is.
him.
Do you know Nightcore? Prune fit known Nightcore.
Oh yeah. Oh, that
It's
guy.
first song.
Then that's the only map I know.
There's Rhythm of My Life 3.
Rhythm of
The
Life, I
Way
don't
of the
know.
Jungle.
I only know the Rhythm of Life is a map series by Azeroth, I think, but that's about it.
Gonna Fit Froon, Limitless Changes. Is a
Nah.
Skyscraper 3 with SK2 and Ricardo.
Then I cannot rate
Black
him. I will stick to cannot rate him.
My turn.
Yeah.
So Flint, I'm familiar. I know he exists. I know he has new maps. I cannot rate them. Bistro is also a new mapper. I'm not sure if it's like an alter ego. I don't know. I
He's
just saw his
new?
map from TFF.
What do you mean he's new?
I think so. I like
I mean,
I saw his maps from TFF, and they're all like decoless maps, and they're all like
he
I don't know.
never recorded them, right? Because I would know if he did. He was
I
never in
mean,
the map of the month.
you can check them on TFF. This may just be like a random guy with like these maps, or he may be an actual other mapper with like an alter ego. I don't know. All I know is his maps suck. I don't like them dog shit.
I mean, I
Meg,
just know that he never recorded anything because as if he was new, I would know because there would be records, no?
I don't think they have videos. They're just
Well,
I don't know. But I added him because his maps are sometimes bought on TFF, so I figured that he's a new mapper and you may know him.
I might should have checked him. He was probably so on the radar because there were no records and I'm not so often in TFF.
Yeah. Meg has a map called Ecos. It's also on TFF.
Oh, Echo! Okay. Wait. In that case, he has potential. If he made Echoes, he has potential. That map is actually great.
Once again, I don't know the guy. It may just be a mapper with an alter ego, but based on that one map, I would say he has potential. Yes.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. Echoes, I played it once, I was like, holy hell, it's like half a Gurk.
Yeah, it's not super cool, but it has if a map is like the definition of has potential, then I think it's Mag Ecos. Like it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Black Angel Shen. Uh, uh, mm, I would say he has potential as well. You asked about the maps. Shen actually has 3 volumes, and Give Up is volume 2.
Oh,
And I cannot tell you what volume 3 is like because I don't know it. Like it's literally just, and he has like one map with the other Yummy,
the
uh,
big M yummy.
the big Yummy, and Frame of Mind, I think it's called, and it's fine. So I'm gonna put him in average. Actually, yeah, I don't know. He hasn't made anything since. I don't know. It's okay. Spotlight. I like his volume 2. I think he has 2 volumes, and one of them is like it's really old, but it's interesting. It's this very I don't know what to call it. It's like it's a tricky map, and it's weird, and it's a bit like meh, but it's also the kind of weird that I like. It's very particular. Um, I'm gonna put him on the top of average. I've given up like sorting these, but I'm just gonna say where I think he would belong. Top of average, I think.
I mean, what
Um,
I can add with Spotlight is that, as I said, I once talked with him about mapping in general, and I feel like the reason why Spotlight maps are like this way, like a little weird, is because he really just is so anti-nature, and I feel like in his mind, he really tries to do something different, something that's outstanding. I guess that's why. But I
yeah, I
think he's
think
not too capable of it. I don't know.
yeah, he proposed some features, like he wanted to send me some stuff. They never like they never stood out to me as much as his Volume 2 did. So yeah, if his Volume 2 was his last map and he never did anything else, then I like funnily enough, I might give him had potential. But to me, it feels like his Volume 2 was great and it went in a direction that I liked. It was tricky, but it was like interesting. And then his new maps are just not that interesting to me. So I feel like he had potential and then he didn't go in the direction that I wish he did. Which is fine, personal taste. But to me, he's in top of average then. Froon, I'm gonna put him above average, interestingly. Um, he's also an old mapper, but I think he had more in him. I don't think he had super big potential, but I think he was alright. I think he was above average. Like he doesn't have a apart from like his volume 1 and 2, he doesn't have like super like mid maps. You know what I mean? Like the maps that he is in are like good. So to me, he's above average a little. Bro or browse, average. I'm gonna put him in this Latino group here. Um, yeah, that was the. This is gonna be an interesting
Yeah, now we're
line.
gonna eat interestingly. Alright, let me get started. Honestly, I think like Pavlo will differ for us because while you probably have more to say about with him is for me it's just this one serious Egyptian skills because I think everything else is pretty much old school. And for me it seems like that while he might be a good OS mapper, I can't really judge is I feel like Egyptian Skills 2 is a one-hit wonder for him. That's like super crazy good map actually for the time. It's like kind of the softer pure skill paradise, but it's like in Egypt, so that's like especially given I enjoy this more. So that map alone is excellent, but given his entire other stuff, I would say he's above average definitely, but I think I won't go higher with him because it's for me we just that one hit wonder POV. Then Martis, I've played some of his stuff in advance. I'm still not really sure where I would rank him. I feel like maybe he was ahead of others in the OG average, but for me he's just like it makes okayish maps that are a little tough with the jumps sometimes. So I would just go with him for average right now. The thing is, everything I could say about Gitaro right now would be probably exceeding the entire freaking video. I try to keep it as short as possible. He's clearly a goat. Like he's clearly goat Taro because that guy showed in so many ways what he can do. He can do super fine speed maps with incredible decoration. He can do simpler maps. He has a lot of good WFF maps. Let it be Taureanism, let it be Haughty Road. He can do skill-based maps like Noxious 4 series, like Mischievous, which are even exceeding the part ideas there without using any scripts. He can invent new styles like also mischievous, like nyctophobia, new concept of decoration, necrosis. He can. There's barely anything he can't do. He's super creative. He is actually good in track, good in decoration. He can do troll map ideas like burning. He can do invisible mindfuck, the claustrophobia map. It's all over the place. There is barely anything he can't do. And yeah, that's basically all you need for being a goat in the game. G-Terror is basically anything you want, basically. And I feel like even though he has some bad maps, of course, which is fine by the high value he offers of maps that you obviously won't like some. I can't I can't think that there is a player who says I dislike every G-Terror map. I think there's for everyone there's at least one G-Terror map you're gonna like. At least one. Because there are so many and the quality is always somewhere there. For Chippy, it's a whole different thing, but same time he's also very high. Chippy's it's a legend for me, I would say, because Chippy is one of the maps I would say has the best consistency in the entire map era. He has a lot of projects that went pretty prestigious, also some that didn't, but if I look at the chibi maps on a wide spectrum, it's like all of them have a solid quality and they're all somewhat very well playable. If you like some chill maps, you can go to Vivid Place. You can go to like Green 1, Green 2, for example, would be like more exciting, more difficult, or maybe even Green 3. You have great legacy maps. I think Chibi did a lot of legacy maps, like the Black and Yellow Remembrance map. He has also, I think, a Lost in Dreams for the love of. Then there are also other projects like the Cavern maps, also super well done. Then his maybe most prestigious aside from Green would be the Descent Skill series, also the solo map Unstoppable also goes into HDM. He has a wide palette of maps, and all have solid decoration, solid track. He's pretty much an all rounder. He's never super exceeding, but he's an all rounder and can pretty much do everything very well on a solid high level. So yeah, he's above not above average but legend for me. Meanwhile, Andreas in comparison were way boring compared to the previous two, but still someone I don't want to downplay too much. Though I think for me he's still just average. I think he has some oh, is he above? Maybe high average. I don't know. He has some interesting volumes, but oh wait, no, I think it was Andres. I think there's an Andres and an Andreas. I'm not.
Yes, different guys.
That's the difficulty. Like overall, he's like the type of mapper who just goes under in this more older style, simple base mappers thing. So I would just put him on average here. Sandy, I have some modern history with Sandy,
Mhm.
where she isn't going away that nice. But honestly, that's also like the situation with BriaN and Avci. Like Sandy is just hating me, and I'm not really getting it. I'm not really. I never really done anything to that girl. I don't know, except making some bad joke afterwards. But I don't know. I never had any problem with Sandy. Not even the maps. Except that I don't like Brazilian style too. Most of Sandy's maps are pretty cool, and I feel like she really evolved her style into some interesting bits. Like there are always a few maps that go above the average thing that she usually does. And those maps usually end up for me in very higher tiers, like the feature with Lost. There's also Project Hellzen with Helios also. And usually when she does features and decorates, most like also features with BriaN here is like the decoration really is slapping quite well. So I always thought Sandy is like always above average. Maybe some maps even excellent. I would say overall she's definitely above average, and I so like all in all she keeps evolving. But I mean lately she isn't dropping anymore, but was always quite good. Then we have Hermes and Kaczak left. Hermes is like HTM for the very old people. Feels like
Thanks.
sometimes. I never liked the maps, but I can appreciate it for what they are. I feel like putting him on average doesn't really do him justice because it's like, I would put him above average despite really disliking his maps, mainly because I feel like mapping his style, his type of way is very hard. And I can appreciate the way he maps, but I personally don't like playing his maps at all. And Kaczak is somewhat the old legend. I would say he made very cool maps back then for the time. Nowadays, I would say his maps are they didn't age too well. They are for most part very boring. I would say he's excellent just for his prestigious time back then, but yeah, nowadays, except like some one or two like different street shots, isn't really much to get there anymore. Or maybe was it no, not Atomic Effect? Kill Everybody, I think it was also part of. I'm not sure. Sometimes I mix it with reward features, but all in all, definitely a great mapper. And yeah, I would just put him on excellent for it.
Okay, my turn. Um, Pavlo is uh hmm. Pablo is hard to rate because he was a really good old school mapper, and then he kind of started evolving to be way ahead of his time. Like the map that you mentioned, Egyptian Skills 2, was the second to last of his maps. He had one more after it, and they were really good. They weren't necessarily ahead of his time anymore, but he evolved well from where he came from, really well. The maps before Egyptian's Skills 2, that's so hard to say. They were all pretty good. Like the not old school maps, like the Eternally Land. It's a feature with Xenos. It's really fucking good. It's like a you can tell that it's an old school map, but it's so smooth. It's amazing. There's the Homeland, which is they're really unique. You can tell that it's a Pavlo map. They don't like necessarily look unique, but they feel unique. It's interesting. Um, I'm gonna put Pavlo. Hmm. I'm gonna keep him at the top of excellent, I think. Um, he's not a legend for the lack of um, the impression that he left. He left us some good objects, like Pavlo made the short shade, and he made the that very detailed pine tree, the big one. Um, but those aren't like, I mean, they were made for his maps, so it's not like, they have nothing to do with his maps. Yeah, I don't know. His entire like map base is a bit too over the place for me, and also hard to rate because I wasn't really active in the DM scene at the time when his old school maps were like new. So I'm gonna leave him at the top of excellent. Marty's is even more difficult to rate for me. He was similar to Pavlo, but he had more old school maps, and the new school maps were worse than Pavlo's. I would argue. Um, yeah, I think I'm actually gonna keep him here. He was also excellent for the time. He was a really, really good old school mapper. Um, I mean, Speedmania is iconic. So I think I'm gonna keep him here, even though his maps didn't age well. Like his old school maps, they just don't. Yeah, they didn't age like fine wine. GT Taro. So I'm still torn. I was torn when you were talking about him, and I'm still a bit torn. He's either a legend or a goat. That's undeniable. And I think I'm gonna have to put my old school bias aside for this one, because GTA Terror is. Um, I feel like the only thing that he missed and still does is being ahead of his time. I think he never was ahead of his time, but he made the most of the present, if you will. He started slow, like his first few maps. I remember they started appearing when I was in ER, and he kept messaging me to upload the maps to ER. And they were like interesting. You could tell that he had potential, but they weren't great. Like his volume 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5, 6. Like his volumes aren't the best. And then he evolved like really, really well, and he just fucking printed maps out like fucking Cuba with the fake money. Like it's crazy. Um, and yeah, he can do anything. Like he can do HDM. I mean, I won't repeat what Carney said. I basically agree with him. So I think I'm gonna put my old school bias aside, and maybe a bit begrudgingly, but I think it's correct to put him in GOAT. Like I think he is one of the most all-around greatest mappers. Like he exceeded in, maybe he didn't exceed in decoration, but he was really good at it. Like Undershell needed help with decoration. Vortex had like a bit clunky tracks sometimes. Claudio was the same. I think GTL Terror was he's a really all-around person, and he can make quality shitposts, he can make HDM, he can make WFF, he can do anything. So I think that deserves a GOAT status in my book. Chippy. Might be a bit controversial again. I'm gonna put Chippy in excellent. Two issues with Chippy. One, I think he has too many maps, and most of them are like super mid. So he evolved into someone great, but instead of like, I don't know how to say it. It's like for a long time it seemed like quantity over quality, and then he evolved into someone actually really decent. My other only issue with Chippy was always that he may be a bit too much of the the source of the inspiration that he had. So sometimes it was like a bit too obvious that he was like taking inspiration. For example, his volume 11, what's it called? Earth Past or something, or after, I don't know, I don't remember. But it was basically it was a it was like a Koza tribute almost. Like it was so obvious at parts that he was just like not not necessarily copying the part, but like copying it, but then changing it in a way that it wasn't like super obvious unless you paid attention or unless you were really knowledgeable. So that leaves a bit of like, a bit of bad taste in my mouth, but it doesn't deny his skill that he's like really cool, really great. Andreas mid. Sandy. Uh, I'm gonna put Sandy in above average. I think she's really cool. I also personally never had any issues with her. Um, does she have potential? Yeah, but I think she got it out most of it now, and I think she's also. This is gonna be a weird argument, but she's definitely limited by hardware. So most of her maps to this day are still full of flickering objects because of the PC that she has and the low resolution she plays on, I think. So that kind of that's not a skill thing, although it could be if you see the video and see that everything is flickering, then you can change it in your editor without even seeing it, I guess, if you pay attention. So I think you could argue that it's a skill issue. But yeah, I love her like old school vibe maps. Most of them are. I think it's great. Similar to Smith's. Yeah, she usually nails them. So yeah, she's
I
definitely about.
mean, what I could add is that's actually fine because the thing you said about Chippy is actually the thing I feel about Sandy. Like, Sandy has so many maps, and it's for like 90% of the maps, it's super hard for me to tell which map is which because it's like they're
Yeah,
all so OS like, which isn't a bad thing, but I just want to point it out because it's
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. I agree.
That's why
She has
I barely dropped any names when I ranked her because I literally don't know them.
yeah, 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 yeah. Right. So Hermes and Kachak. Um, Hermes is interesting because his maps were okay at the time. Like you either liked them or you didn't. They were really difficult at times. Did they age well? I don't think so. And his decoration wasn't the best. If not for the nostalgia factor, they are completely mid maps, I think. So I'm gonna put him at the top of average. I think even at the time he was okay. He didn't stand out too much. Kasak, I think I'm gonna put him in above average. Um, it's interesting. I was thinking about this while you were talking about him. Uh, I think his maps are really polarized in the sense that like half of them aged horribly, and then the other half aged pretty well. Like, oh my god, what's like Extreme Silence is really cool, I think, to this day. And the I don't remember the name of the most popular fucking the WFF map. Uh,
That was
Save Your Heart,
difference
Save Your
feature.
Heart, Save Your Heart, Save Your Heart.
Save your
Save Your
heart.
Heart 1 and 2 is still pretty cool. Atomic Effect would have been a fucking amazing map if it wasn't really boring to play. Like
Is
Atomic Effect
it?
with Revolt, it was so ahead of its time. It looked amazing. It was so detailed at the time, but it's just boring to play. It's like overly. It's like 4.5 minutes long, I think, and just the pacing is it's boring to play. I'm sorry. It looks amazing, and it was ahead of his. It was so ahead of his time, but it's just yeah.
I mean, it was
Um,
probably the first map I felt like it felt so gigantic just because of the sheer size. It's not that it's actually working with the low draw distance back then, but it felt actually gigantic.
it was really good, but yeah, it felt boring to me. Then there's the map with X-Print, the Deadly Descent, which I really like, but I think I like that because of X-Print and not because of Kazakh. So yeah, I feel like he got his potential out of him, and yeah, if it wasn't for his really old maps, which are not great, then I think I would have rated him higher. But I think he was above average, and that's that. That's that.
Alright, then. Yeah, there's nothing much to add also to the others. Just that I feel like, actually, the one thing about Chippy with the volume 11, to be fair, when I talk about Chippy, I feel like I just ignore the volume 11, honestly, because I just feel like, yeah, that's just a rough, bad comeback. Like, that's literally the only thing I
I
can say
don't
about
mind
Chippy
the map.
volume
I think it
11.
was cool, but like there were a few parts which were like I could tell that it was like okay, you played a bit too much because of maps, a bit
I
too
mean,
many.
I mean, actually, I don't even think the map is cool. The map is just like, let's say it's a letdown. It's not a bad map, but it's a letdown.
I could say that, yeah. I wasn't really invested in Chippy's map, so I wasn't let down by it. But yeah,
Yeah, fair. I mean, do you know the volume 10 from Opposite Sides?
I know it, but I didn't care for it.
Because it's just such a banger for me. That's why probably.
I mean, I remember his Volume 8, which is Snowy, and that map is just a straight up Cold Embrace copy, for example.
Oh, that one
Because
I
I'm not sure
don't
if
know. I
that's the
think,
reason map. It's the
but
same
yeah.
map.
But to be
Like, it,
fair, I think that's also a quality of him. I mean, that's like I have to kind of use the anime term for it right now because it's like the only like in anime when you have like a group of people in sport, for example, that's like always that one guy who is really good in like copying the skills of others. And I feel like that guy would be Chippy in MTA because he's like he can observe something and then put it into action for himself. That's like his
yeah,
skill
it's a
basically.
skill. That's fine. I just
And I
personal
feel
taste.
and yeah, and I mean I get it that it's like weird that you see like this other name and yeah it's a straight up copy, but at the same time I feel like it's a really great quality also if you copy that well in several things. But make
Yeah,
it
I mean,
somewhat your own
I'm not
thing.
trying to put it against him. Like, I think it's cool.
No, I don't understand. Like, it's just like to put this view out because I mean, I sometimes do this too. Like, I have also a lot of maps where I just like look at a style and I'm like, I want to do an own interpretation of it, like I did with like G Tarot 3 times already.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same. Like for Enigma, it was an Abodi Volume 4 inspiration, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's not the same. It doesn't mean I wasn't trying to make it the same, but it's an inspiration, and I never kept it a secret. But I think, and I might be wrong, so I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything here. But I feel like Chippy has been called out for copying people, and he denied it, which to me is I don't know.
that I don't know
Maybe I'm wrong,
actually.
but
If
I
he
think I
did, it would be
remember,
weird,
but
but
maybe I'm wrong.
yeah, that's just yeah.
Because
I'm not sure.
I take inspiration all the time, like from Delta Heavy for rural, not rural county, Sunlit County too. But every single time that I post like a thread or something, that is the first thing I say, like inspired from XYZ. So I don't know. I think
Yeah.
there's ways to go about it, and I think Chippy sometimes goes a bit too far, just a tiny bit. That it like I notice, and then I cannot unnotice it anymore.
Yeah, maybe that could be. I'm not sure about it. I mean, I know Chibi a little bit close now. I don't feel like he's the type of guy doing this, but yeah, let's leave it at that.
May
We
have been a
don't
long
know.
time ago, yeah.
We
So I'm
don't
not
know.
trying to accuse him or anything, but this is the vibe I'm getting. But again, it may be wrong.
I'm just like now kind of craving the next because this is only bangers, literally. At least only bangers to talk about. Oh my
Yeah,
god. Okay, let me get started. Actually, I feel like maybe we actually should do each one solo here because like else it would be too long till you can speak again, most likely.
yeah. Okay, okay, yeah.
Okay, let's start with Bravo, the kind of other side now of Kajak. Though he has his own prestigious maps, like I know that a lot of people like Volume 14 Revoltage. I personally Hate it. Like, I get it's okay map, but oh my god, Revoltage is so annoying for me. I'm more a fan of part 2. Also, especially in general, I'd say Revolts, all the, like, newer maps rather, Hit 'em Up, Water Colossus, and all those are cool maps, I think. Previous ones, not really. All in all, I think I'm not too attached to Revolt and can just confidently say he's above average, definitely, especially for his time. Just not my cup of tea overall. X-Crow is kind of the same thing. I feel like X-Crow back then was the speed mapper. Like, if you want to play a speed map, most people just played a raindrops map, or like some of the other volume 5 or 6 who aren't a raindrop. But I feel like that's like this sign of I'm the speed mapper guy. Anyway, I gotta say, X-Crow might be one of the worst speed mappers, honestly. Like, if I think about the great speed maps, there isn't a single X-Crow map, honestly. X-Crow is more like the simple base example of doing a speed map. Like, if there was a competition, I would always put a Norby Volume 3 higher, a Farix map, a Zeed map, even older maps, like, I don't know, even an old Seamers Volume 7 or something, I don't know. Like, anything. I feel like the speed maps of X-Crow only worked because back then there wasn't as much speed map competition. And that's why I feel like why you can still play them is still average for me now, because yeah, it never was that great. Just like the only one in the competition.
Also, you wanted to go one by one, so
Yeah,
let
I
me go.
forgot, so I just went with X-Crow full, so
I forgot as well. I remembered halfway through your monologue about Excro. Uh, okay, so this is gonna be very different to yours, but I'm gonna put Revolt in Legend. Uh, it's similar to Kazakh, like if half of his map base aged poorly, but then the other half is iconic to me. Like he was so great at the time. Like all of his maps that came out, they were fucking bangers. Like the volume 17, 18, 19 were fucking bangers. And all of the beats with Kazakh, I feel like they were kind of carried by Revolt a little. Like I feel like Revolt is and was like a more creative version of Kazakh and like a more skillful version of Kazakh. And his maps are iconic. Like to me, he's a legend. Um,
I mean, you know what I feel like? I feel like while Ravot is the definitely better mapper than Kachak, I feel like Kachak had the better vibes. I feel like he knew how to create a vibe with a map, while Ravot is just very good at making maps in general.
maybe
I think it's
I
mainly
feel like
because
I
of the
disagree.
songs and the wideness of Kachak maps. Like, I don't know, every time I like Kachak songs, usually I always when I play a Kachak map, I was like, bro, what's the song name? Because they're just so nice vibing.
I don't know. I'm kind of the opposite. I really like the vibe of Revolt maps from 14 up. They were really unique. He had a really unique style going to him. You could tell that it was a Revolt map by playing it.
I mean, the best vibe was probably the robotish one because of the song. But I would say that definitely my favorite map of him is Volume 18, Water Colossus. I don't know. I don't even know why. It just feels like the best made.
X-Crow, I'm putting him above average. I feel like he was good. Um, I don't think he was excellent. I never really liked his decoration, kind of, especially by the end. At the beginning, the tropical decoration was fine. It was okay. But then when it got to the soy sauce era, where he was making like these floating islands with the massive balloons and shit, they just look cheap. I'm sorry. The tracks were cool. I like that he used RCG to make the not water jump, the fucking road bridge loops. So yeah, I think he was a really great speed mapper. And yeah, also I have some history with him. He found it very funny that I was fat, and then he started spreading like pictures and rumors and shit. I
Yeah,
didn't
I mean,
appreciate it for no reason. I never really spoken to
honestly,
him.
every time I hear someone about talking about X-Crow who knew him, I never heard anything good about X-Crow, honestly. Like on a personal level, I never heard anything good about
It was
him.
weird, but then I talked to him after, and he acted like nothing happened, and he was perfectly fine. So I don't know, but I remember that he was one of the people who started spreading my picture around. The one that exists, and then he laughed at me and like talked shit. But I'm not holding it against him. It was like fucking 5 years ago, so we were all kids. Um, but I'm just saying it as like I'm pushing all to that to the side. Like I'm not biased or anything. Uh,
Then I don't know. What you want to start with that next one
yeah,
or?
I guess I will. A Firth Wonder or one TH Wonder. Um, I think. Hmm, was he an excellent? I mean, his few maps are really fucking cool. I think I'm gonna put him in excellent. Or yeah, no, had potential. I'm not super convinced. He has four solo maps and then a few fits, I think, or maybe just the one feat.
Mm,
I really like his volume four. The rest are, I mean, his volume one is I like it, but it's nothing special. It's just a map, but it's cool. As a first DM map, it's fucking awesome. His volume two is the Maze Runner, is it?
oh yeah, Maze Runner is actually wild. Honestly, underrated. I think.
Then three is Inception and four is Interstellar. They're
Yeah,
all cool, but ah, yeah, excellent.
yeah. I mean, I would put him on excellent simply because I don't feel like he has potential. Like, I think he showed his potential pretty
Yeah,
much with this.
yeah.
I would say he's like the that sounds like too negative, but like the rather worst of the topic mappers. I like to call them topic mappers. Those who use any movie topic and make revolve a map around them. And it's not even that true because Interstellar exceeds some of those others, but like all in all, he just didn't cook as much, and that's why he's kinda like on a lower level than them others. Like, yeah, we will discuss sooner or later anyway. But yeah, he's definitely very good, honestly. Like especially in Interstellar, but also Inception and Maze Runner were pretty decent, given that they're also like I don't know how old they are, but I think at least 7 years. And then oh man, I mean maybe you could start because I will talk a lot about that guy.
Okay, action. Um, what I'm gonna do is this, and I'll explain why. Um,
Wait a sec. Could it be that oh, your screen froze from the screen share? It froze.
oh wait, is it?
Yeah, it's frozen.
Let me restart it. Stop streaming. Share screen. My tier list. Go live. Better?
Yeah, but you put it on. I had potential. Oh, okay, that's a wild claim given he has so many
Yeah.
maps.
So I think this is a case of a still active mapper, but he had potential. So I think what happened is Action has like a few great maps and a lot of mid maps. And am I gonna do this or am I just gonna? Yeah, maybe like this. Yeah, I don't want to mess with these, but mm, yeah, it, I have a such a it's such a shame with Action because some of his maps I really like, but he just didn't go in the right direction. And I despise his volume 5. Like I like the idea of it, I like that it exists, but it's so fucking annoying when it's played. So yeah, I like his volume 7. I like Game Over, which is a feat with an X. I love Favela, except the fucking HDM parts, which I feel like Action is responsible for. Just yes. I hate that he ruined the fucking map song. Like he made the map song for Favela, and they couldn't
Wait, he
change it.
made it?
He made it, yeah, and it's
But no, wait, it must be Hugao's. Look,
no, no,
I'm
no.
aware
I
that I
talked to
have
Hugo.
that Hugao made me have bad blood against him, but no way in hell this wasn't Hugao's idea. At least that's so Hugao
No,
vibe.
like, Hugo sent me the map, and I added some fixes in the map for them because I really liked it, and I had an amazing song for it. Not amazing, but it was so much better. But then Hugo said that he doesn't want to change the song because Action made it specifically for this map, and you know,
Okay, I see. That's
my
unexpected.
issue with the song is he's taken the fucking piss out of a map which could have been fucking amazing. Like I love the theme, I love the fucking favela objects, I love the hunter part, which is just going up the mountain between. Like I like it, I love it. It's such a great idea, such a great vibe with the song that I chose, which they didn't use. It's just ruined by the first HDM part with the slide. I think it's okay. Could have been better, but I can pass it. But the last one, the backwards slide, is so fucking stupid and unnecessary. It just ruins the entire thing. So yeah, it's a shame.
Okay, oh well, my turn now. The thing is following. Okay, if we would live in a world where action didn't come back like a year ago or so, um, he would be a legend on my tier list. Actually,
Well,
because he has so many great, maybe not even the greatest maps, but same time so many cool concepts. Like I really love the Hell Exciting series, even though I don't know why it's named Exciting when it's 9 minutes of W trying, but it's still so sick for no reason.
hella boring.
I actually love the second part of it especially.
Yeah, it's really
Uh,
good.
I like the Madness Flores maps also a little. Code skills is neat. I especially love Dark Rain 1. Dark Rain 1 is super great. But also some other stuff. Like every time I see action decoration, I feel like yeah, that I'm up for some good time. And also his track wasn't so bad actually. It felt like it was not that great, but the decoration made it great in an experience. But then he came back, and I was like, okay, that's actually crazy. Nice, 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 nice. And then Madness Savannah, one bad map. Hell Exciting 3, another bad map. And now Favela. Like, honestly, there's only so much I can tank. And I'm officially already saying that Action has probably the worst comeback of any mapper in the history of this game. I can't imagine anyone doing worse than him if it's about a comeback. He got totally lost in this HDM nonsense. He makes weird parts like he actually has somewhat ideas, but it's so unplayable that even HDM players go there and say, nah, fuck that shit. Like that's it's leading nowhere with him, which would actually bring me to that I would put him below average and mainly and only below average because his decoration is still kind of cool here and there. But the track is so absolutely bad that it's like I can't play the maps at all. And Favela is really not that much better. I already talked about it in the map of the month, but in the end, I don't know how you can take such a great topic and mess it up so badly. It's like you can't execute something so bad even if you troll try hard. Like I don't know how this happened, and I really hope they do a Favela too. Really, this topic shouldn't go under like this. But it overall brings me to the conclusion, like, I don't know where I want to put him, honestly. Like, it's like Conquer, but worse. Like, where do I put this guy now? I think the best take is to say it's above average, but it weighs him down so hard. He would be literally up there but yeah, with SV here, all the guys, but I don't know. Now I can't even be happy about if he releases something. It's super sad, actually. But yeah, it is what it is. Funny enough, I kinda hate that you put them on the side because it's like the exact same guy. That's like the exact same guy in some sort. Okay, NX honestly was one of my main inspirations to map. I had the big three basically when I started mapping. That were NX, GD Taro, and another guy we will talk about later. And the thing is, NX is the one guy who fell off for me so hard. Like, everything after, I would say, volume 16 has a bitter taste for me. Like, okay, fair enough. The volume 17, the Goat 303, I mainly don't like it because it's a horror map and I don't like horror at all. So that's like just not made for me. It's fair. But Code and X is like, honestly, for me, an insane letdown. Like, I get it, it's super cool objects, it's like mind blowing to see this in the game, I get it, but let's be honest, the execution isn't that good. Like, he can place the city all he wants, okay? The decoration can only look good to some extent. But the track is literally the most shit track I've ever played on an X map. Like, it's so bad. It's terribly flowing. It cannot really capture a good vibe because it has so many weird bits. I don't know. Some people say it's still vibing. I mean, yeah, a little, but this giant wall rides are super boring to look at and also super boring to drive. That you have to get back on that one high jump to get a nose. It's so also flow killing. And it's like nothing of this happened back then. Like when you look at Misbeliever, personally, arguably best in X map, or like even the Vanity 3 to 5, it's way, way, way different. And I just feel like even now, when I look at Mona Lisa Overdrive, which I couldn't play till this day because it's somehow nowhere to be played. I don't know.
It's an FFS.
It's never FS by now, okay, yeah. Back then
It
it
has been
wasn't
for
like it
every year.
wasn't a few years ago, but I haven't played it. But even looking at this, it already said to me it's kind of the same as Code NX. I don't know what to think about NX anymore. I don't know. Like it isn't as much for fell off as action, okay? Because like at least I can play the maps, and they don't look as bad. But it's just like it kind of went from the goat of decoration for me to like he's still excellent. It's just that I never really I couldn't really get the same feeling I got when I saw Vanity 4 or Misbeliever, which were way more creative in their own rights, and it didn't feel like he goes all in for just using the objects he just has now and kind of rests on them, if you get me. It's like that's what Code and X feels like. Yeah. So I would just put him on excellent, which is still high because he has a great legacy of very creative ideas and decoration and also some part bits.
Well, I already placed NX, as you can see on my screen.
Yeah, on Legend.
Um, I have issues with him.
A lot of people do, to be fair.
Huh?
A lot of people do, as I heard.
Yeah, yeah, but I think once again to use the analogy of the skill points, I think NX fucking maxed out the decoration, and then for the track he had like two left. And what bothers me is when I asked him like, "What's the deal, man? Like, why is your track so clunky all the time?" Then he basically said that the track is the way it is because of the decoration. Like, the decoration limits what he can make track wise because there are too many objects, and that's just bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
even if so,
actually,
you
was
could
it?
make a better track with less objects than he used. So I think it's just cope. It's just copium. But the decoration is just, he's simply one of the best in the scene. And even though most people say that, like, oh, it's just fucking random objects everywhere, like, it doesn't make sense. Yes, it makes sense. There's beauty in the mess. And
Uh,
it's not even a mess. It's like,
it isn't. That's the thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm fucking inviting anybody to replicate what he's doing, not copying him, but like try to make something that resembles NX decoration and make it look good.
That's really just very, very
And
difficult.
everyone is free to try. You have free access to edit, or fucking try it. And it's not gonna look that good. It's not gonna look like it. Not even close. It's gonna look like a fucking mess. And you know this. I'm calling everyone out here.
I
You
mean,
all know
in
this.
fact, there is a mapper who pretty much feels like he is the mess and X creates, and then he
Yeah,
failed.
we're gonna get to him, but I don't think he ever said that NX is a shit mapper. So,
Like in
but
the
yeah,
end,
I'm inviting anybody to try to do what NX does and then get back to me.
you know what? I think I still put him on Legends, though, even though he fell off for me. I mean, it's just too many maps. He really made really interesting stuff and all. It just like so at this point I feel like it's some personal thing because if someone is such a great inspiration to you and then he falls off for you, it's like some hard hit actually, and you're not sure how to deal with it because yeah. I mean, I once saw this. I'm not sure if you refer to this, but I once saw with Code and X that in the FFS forum he made some answer because someone asked something similar to your question, but not quite. Where he meant like, nah, the track is fine like it is because I do my stuff as I intend to do it, and it seems so randomly arrogant and like I
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
imagine a world where he has to make such a track to make it work.
yeah, I mean, let's not get into why NX the way he is.
This is like I'm not
That is a
sure.
discussion for another day. But
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I cannot deny his skill. I think he's one of the best in the scene.
And also don't want to call him arrogant overall. In the end, as said, he is one of the biggest free inspirations I had for starting mapping myself, and especially my map Divine Gate is more like a thing where I was like I want to decorate like an X summit, or at least like decorate like I'm putting full effort in it, and that's like yeah. The thing that actually kind of spiraled me upwards because after I dropped that one map, people started to notice me the first time. So yeah, in the end, without an X, maybe I wouldn't be here to some degree. You
Uh,
could probably say that. Okay, there was some long talk, so let's keep it short for the next guy. I just put him on my very rank one because he most likely is funny enough not one of the big three because I didn't know the guy when I started mapping. But I think there is no mapper where I'm like convinced that once he drops a map, it is nothing below a 9 out of 10. That won't happen. It won't happen. Most of the time it's always a 10-10 banger that I just like to play over and over because what I like to say is Russo is the type of guy who could make an entire map that feels like it was made by San Andreas developers because his decoration just feels so natural bound to the game style itself for some reason. And not only does he do such a well flowing decoration, he also makes probably the most interesting regular DM track there is. I don't know a single mapper who makes simple track bits with like some smaller words and all so dynamic and flowing like Russo. So yeah, for me, there's barely any mapper who can compete with him in this sector. So he gotta be a goat for me.
yeah, I really like his maps. I'm gonna put him at the top of excellent. My reason for that is I think Russo is a late bloomer. So he also started off pretty slow. I know his first volume 8, 9, 10 aren't really very memorable. They're just normal maps. I would if he if we were at the time when his volume, for example, 10 was the latest map, I would have put him like average.
I
And then
was maybe
after
slightly
that, he
above.
actually started evolving into someone really unique with maps that nobody else makes. I mean, now, for example, Dilith did, but he was basically inspired by Russo, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I don't think he's a legend just because of, yeah, he's a late bloomer, and I think he had already hit his peak, and now he's just like doing stuff that he likes. It's a motivation question, I think. Um, he's really fucking good, and he could be even better if he cared more. So he could I think he could have been a legend. He could have even been a goat if he was like really super committed. But yeah, I think his really good.
I mean, I'm not too sure. The thing is, of course, don't want to say too much, but in the end, every time I see some older stuff of him that isn't really released, I'm like, always amazed of the ways he can put creativity in decoration. It's always like I would go so as far as to say that Russo is simply an artist. Like he's like a core artist basically, and everything he maps has this vibe of someone who really tries to make a picture of something. Like, it's super hard to tell, but I would just say he's an artist.
Yeah, he does something really particular that nobody else does, and it looks really good, even though it shouldn't. I don't know if you've noticed this very like it's a specific thing. Like he often, I don't know if he still does in his decoration, but his volume 11 or in Bleed, for example, there are many parts in the decoration where objects are just duplicated.
Yeah, but he
You
makes it in a
get
way that
the
it doesn't
fucking
seem like it's a weird thing. Like usually, you would say it's like it's kind of uncreative, but he makes like some shaping with it that it's actually so well looking.
yeah, like his decoration is so detailed and so like I don't want to say the word messy, but it is, but it's a beautiful mess. And then there's like this actual fucking like perfect symmetry of objects, and it just adds. It's like an abstract painting almost. It's like a piece of something entirely different within
Mm.
a unit of thing. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I really like it.
Yeah, and funny enough, because you said it, the thing is why I don't consider like the older maps of him is simply because I think he even himself said that like once after he made his volume 10 and then went to teardrop, he even changed his volume layout. It feels like there are two different Russos. Like we have the old time Russo and then we have the guy with the romantic numbers, and then he went like, okay, that's my new character arc,
Yeah,
and then
okay,
he
but
just dropped
same
only
guy.
bangers.
Yeah, I get it. That's why I said late bloomer. Like he just changed.
Then we got
I
Rosin.
appreciate it. I'm glad he did, but it's the same guy, so I'm rating him as a one.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, sure it would toss down, but I still like Past Hour 2 and Bakan 2, honestly, is still pretty neat. But yeah, well, like from a modern inspiration, he's probably the biggest I have because I just adore the way he does things, and I feel like he's also one of those mappers that are like the hardest to copy. Like that would be a challenge for Chippy. I would like to see him try to do that one actually. That would be
Maybe he
interesting.
hasn't gave up. I don't know.
I want more Russo maps anyway. Talking about Russo, Russo has a feature with you in Krimkey, and Krimkey, honestly, before Rosalie, I didn't have him on my radar because I thought he was more like a secondary substitute for features with DLF and Pirzi. Yeah, but now he also released this new map that was a little bit rushed at the end, I'd say. Still good, and overall, Krimkey looked at more thoroughly. I don't know if he can talk about potential or above average. I would say potential rather, because while he is rather oldish map wise, he doesn't have so much maps, and I feel like he is just now blooming rather. So I would say yeah, potential.
Agreed. Not much else to say. I think he has potential to be better.
Yeah, that's the like we gotta see where he goes from here. I feel like there's a lot to do. And then on the other hand, we have his I think they are friends, Pirzi. Now, Pirzi honestly is one. I like the guy personally, but his maps were always difficult for me. I already said it when I reviewed Superior. The thing is, I can clearly say without a doubt that Pirzi, in the HDM sector at least, is most likely alongside Eastbourne the best decorator there is. Easily. Definitely. There's no competition. But his tracks are no fun to play. And while some maps are better than others, yeah, like I hate Sumptuous. I know some people love Sumptuous. I hate Sumptuous. The Volume 3 is fine. Overall, while he is great in decoration, I still don't like the decoration too much because it's just when you look at Russo decoration, for example, it's like so colorful and all, and it's so colorful, creative and all. Pixi's decoration is more like it's not too creative, but it's just well executed. It's
Mhm.
just looking very good, but it has no real sick stuff in it. It's just well done. And that's just something I personally don't like as much as someone who like strives for creativity. So overall, I would say Prichzi is excellent. I just don't like him as much to put him on legend. It's like a way subjective behavior here I put, because I just don't want to place him higher than that
Yeah,
simply
I don't
because
have
I
much
don't
to
like
add
him.
above average for me.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fair enough. You don't know the HDM sector as much from him because
Yeah,
there
I
he
mean,
is really skyrocketing.
what I've seen, I think is above average. Like I don't think it's a potential issue, but I think he's not average, so I think he's above average.
Alrighty, then DLF, the rather retired one of the Polskis. I know that he has actually a few haters who don't like his maps, and I never got it because I personally think DLF was always quite good, honestly. Let it be like the older Footprints of Magic maps or something like Dawn over Bayou, but also the HDM approaches with Step to Perfection were always pretty good. I'm not sure if I put him on excellent. I think he's above average, and that's just fine for him. He's a high above average, to be fair. But yeah, that's he always was good to me personally, map wise. I've never felt like there was any real bad release of him, except maybe the troll release of Possible Interaction or whatever it was. But
Yeah, it's yeah, he had mid maps and then he had good maps, but nothing like groundbreaking or outstanding. Like
yeah, but
I
also never
can't
something
I
bad.
can't name a map. I can't name a DLF map that stands out to me.
I mean, if you talk about Rary's thing, I would say Oblivion Road to some degree, given it's just so well flowing in every aspect, but it's
Yeah, I
also.
can name DLF maps, but none of them are like they don't stand out to me. They're just like DLF maps. So it's
I
I
mean,
don't know.
apart from the fact that sometimes actually I feel like DLF is also partly the reason we've got mappers like Scorix or Krimki or Pixie to begin with. I feel like he low key raised them, but maybe that's just the outside perspective,
He walked so they could run.
basically. And then Pixie kind of surpassed him. But
Uh,
anyway, that's about
propose
DLF.
I propose we talk about Alcatraz and then we do a quick fire round of these few
Oh, I
because
would I would do already because I don't know Alcatraz.
King, King
we,
12 Pro.
we could go.
You don't know King
Wait,
12
wait, wait,
Pro?
wait. He's King 12 Pro?
Yeah, Alcatraz. King 12 Pro.
Oh. Okay,
Or
okay, that
King
changes it.
12 Pro.
I know him well. Though I can only recall three maps, which would be the two volumes and After the Titans map. And honestly, while After the Titans, I mean, I guess every time you do a feature with someone, I feel like you're the one who made a track and the other party just decorated. But in King 12 Pro's case, it doesn't feel like it because he usually doesn't decorate even in his own maps.
Uh, it's actually a half and half. So he decorated his own track, and then I decorated my own track.
Let's see. Well, what I can say about King 12 is that his maps never were that outstanding, but same time they were. And I'm not sure if it's just the name because it's just so odd. But I always liked the maps in some degree. They were also a little bit crappy. I would say he's average in the end. But he's an interesting average, I would say. I couldn't go higher than this though.
I'm putting him in above average. I think it was good. I think there was more in him, but yeah, he left before. You know, I think he
Maybe
could have made more maps and better maps. I think he's in a few pretty cool ones. Um, yeah, above average.
thing is I
Nothing
don't know
special, but
his Alcatraz map, so that's probably a section that maybe would change it
classic
a bit.
vibes, or he's an X massive. What else? There's Continental, Fit Banshee, and Royal.
I don't
There's
know any
Brief,
of
Fit Cool,
them.
and Royal. Untouched with Rhizome, Alcor, and Flame. Extraordinary with Control and SK2. Silent Skills with Andro. There's Amnesia, it's an old map with Xenio.
I barely know any of those. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, alright, then we can go for the next quick pace then for this next
Alright,
row.
do a quick fire of these five. Jeremy, Joxty, Vaser, Sterling.
I thought so. I thought so that you were gonna talk about those next two after a lot. All right then.
Next 6, more like
Yeah, okay, fair. I didn't see the second row.
Hungarian
Well,
crew.
Jeremy is an odd case. I would say he's above average because he has interesting approaches for maps, like the script island map or like even his volumes. You can tell he is not an everyday mapper. He has some ideas. What I feel like though is that Jeremy always failed to make a solid execution of his things, so all his maps feel super messy. There isn't a single map I would say Jeremy pretty much nailed it from start to finish. It was always halfway through just a mess. So while I appreciate his ideas and it stands out for him, there's always some mistake in those maps that is just making it weird. I don't know who Jockster is, not at all. Razor, I only know from this one map, Feed Wonder and all. It's not enough to rate him. Style, I think. I think he was in some map with some car skill maps. I'm not sure. I will just also skip him. And Rehab. Where did I read Rehab? Was it in the. No. Can you tell me Rehab maps? I remember the name, but I can't recall
5
them.
stars with Fatal Moito and yours truly.
Ah, 5 stars is actually wild, yeah. But given the name stack, what did he do there?
The start.
And that's it?
Yeah, because he also decorated his part, but I deleted the decoration and redid all of it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where to rank him just based by that. I must skip.
So, quickfire, Jeremy below average. Good guy, good ideas, horrible execution all the time. His maps were painfully simple all the time, and I was never amused. Jokesty, I put him here just for me. He had amazing potential. He had 2 maps total. He had a Volume 1 called Another Attitude, and he had a feature with Stylock called Earth Batteries. 2 really cool maps. Like he's to me, he's the Latino Scotalu.
Ah, let's see.
Like one hit wonder, or in this case, 2 hit wonder. Really good maps, and then I don't even know anything about him. Vaser, unfamiliar. I know him. I know he has maps, but I cannot rate him. Style, I'm gonna say below average. He had okay old school maps, but he never stood out to me. He doesn't have a memorable map. Yeah, he was always like a gray area to me, or like a black sheep, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I never really knew his maps, or I don't know. Rehab is the same. Yeah, he didn't have many maps, and those few weren't like great. So, do you want me to start with the Hungarian queue?
Probably.
6 guys. Andro. Let's do it quick. Andro is going into excellent, and he's going like here. I think his. Hmm. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm biased. He's a really good friend of mine. I think it may not show in his maps, but he has an amazing understanding of what maps are supposed to look like and how they are supposed to be played and enjoyed. Um, he has a really, I don't know how to say it, like mapping intelligence is really high. Execution may leave some to be desired sometimes, especially in his old maps, but I feel like if he uh, if he tried too hard to overcome these issues, then he would lose the personality of his maps, and they wouldn't feel like Andro maps anymore. They would feel like any other map, and then he would just become average. But I think he's excellent, and he's been around for a long time. He has the fucking pause series, which I think are really cool. So yeah, I'm putting him at the bottom of excellent, and try me. Kutya. Kutya is the biggest fucking missed opportunity in MTA ever. Amazing guy, amazing mapper. I think Kutya might have the most unfinished projects started ever in the existence of MTA. I feel like the guy, there was a period when he started like a map a week, and then he mapped like 30 seconds of it and then deleted it. And they were all good. but they didn't meet his own standards. Like he was so hard on himself. I'm I'm gonna check, but I think he has maybe 15 maps total ever, and he's been around longer than I have. Uh,
I mean, I'm proof for this. Like, I have
13.
no idea about Koji. I know he's in some maps and I know the map names, but it never felt like the guy is actually someone to look at.
There is, oh, which map is it? I feel like every single time you play a feat map, uh, try to remember. I'm gonna send you a message on Discord. Go on TFF and play Kutia maps where he's in a feat and he's not the first mapper. The reason is you're gonna play these maps and you're gonna immediately notice when you reach Kutia's part, they're so different and so good. Like he stands out in everything he does. He's amazing and missed the opportunity. Darius, above average. He was really good at the time. I think he could have been better. He left super early, but he was really good. I'm gonna put him like he was pretty good. Like here. Okay, Jacob Disaster Mover, three fucking giants, so like two giants and the apprentice. Jacob, goat. Uh, there's just nobody like him. I'm gonna quickly get this over with. Disaster. I'm putting him in legend. And mover, I'm gonna put. Oh my god, where am I going? Mover, I'm gonna put in excellent. I think like like this. Um, I don't think it needs much explanation. Jacob is a fucking goat at what he does. I feel like nobody does it as well as he does. Even Disaster doesn't. And Disaster is amazing. He's really fucking good. He is not quite Jacob though. And Mover is not quite Disaster. He is like a step below. He's still good. He's still really good. Um, I think with Mover it's like a motivation issue. He could have been much better if he was more committed. Um, yeah, I don't have much else to say. I think it's fair. What's the next? Ceylon, yeah, okay. So rank the Hungarian queue for me, Carney, please.
My turn?
Yes.
Alright, okay, so Andro. You know what's funny? I feel like Andro is. If I have to put it, he's like overrated in the wrong maps and underrated in the right maps. You know what I've like? Like every time I'm playing Andro, it's most likely it's like the volume 8 or volume 9, and I feel like especially volume 8 is like his most boring map out of all Andro maps you could play. And that's why I feel like kind of, I don't know. I mean, Pursuit of Energy 3 is great, and I like the solution. Those maps I like especially, and else it's like really all over the place with this guy. He has in the most maps just some cool bits and then sometimes some really bad, especially Paradise of Anosha 1 is very, very, very all over the place with good and bad parts, which got better over the series. He also
Also,
has some
sorry to
features.
interrupt. Can I just add one thing
Yeah.
about Kutia? Kutia was gonna be in Undershell of Paradise of Undershell 1. Just to give you an idea of like his unfinished projects, he was gonna be in the feat.
Oh,
So that's the level that he could hit, or even higher. But
oh
it was
damn.
just a motivation issue. Like he didn't do much, and then Andrew just finished it alone.
Oh damn.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but yeah, so I really don't know. I mean, I guess I settle with Andrew on above average because he's definitely deserves to be higher than an average, but same time, I like when you said mapper intelligence, I feel like I get what you're saying because I get the feeling that Andrew is like that like he has to be better than the maps he actually does. I have this feeling in most of his maps that he's like I play them and it's like that's it. Aren't you more? It feels like you should do more than this, but it's then in the end it isn't more than that, and it's super confusing. I have this kinda with every Andro map ever since Volume 10. And I think also a little bit Volume 9 because Volume 9 the ending is a little odd. But I don't know. It's always like I feel like I should love Andro more than I do, but somehow don't because the maps really don't show it too much. Then yeah, I feel like after all you said about Kutya, I just don't feel confident rating him.
That's fine.
Darius, I really don't like his Volume 2. His Volume 2 is the most overrated map ever since Kun Volume 1. And uh else I put him on average. Like I like his what did you enter here? I like his volume 3 a lot, but I really dislike his volume 2. And since those are pretty much the only maps valuable with him, I don't know the others. I guess kind of balances him on average. I never really liked the guy. Jacob, the thing is, you say he's a goat. I mean, I kind of get it, but same time, in the end, I would just put him on legend because I only feel the goat aspect on Revolt, and the others are like just very good. But I feel like he left a little too early to be a goat, honestly. And therefore,
Yeah,
I would just put him on the same level as Disaster because, like, Halo doesn't feel that well. I don't like Halo. Maybe because I didn't play Halo, I don't really get the reference at all. Time traveling is a banger, definitely, but I like time traveling and Revolt are those two maps I really like. The others, not really. They
I
are
mean, you
okayish.
weren't around when these maps were released, correct?
At least with time traveling, I played this first time in 2012.
Yeah, but yeah, it's hard to convey. But when Jacob released the DM map, that was an event. Like it was fucking bonkers. When like yeah, it was an MTA event almost.
I mean, I do get it, yeah, but like in the end, as I said, like the fact it means mainly the fact that I don't like the Volume 4 because I don't feel any excitement playing it. It's like
Yeah,
it while time traveling has this crazy good like showcase of time traveling. And Revolt is just, I mean, I don't have to explain to anyone why Revolt is an amazing map. Literally, it's like, it's all over the place. Like, Halo doesn't have any of them, just feels like some rather plain approach of a half speed map with some, I guess, Halo references that aren't
yeah,
really working well.
yeah. You don't see it now, but they were groundbreaking maps when they came out. Like you saw his volume 4, you saw it when it got released in like 2012, 2014, and you didn't know how the guy made these maps.
Yeah, but honestly,
Like
like
you
what was
looked
the
at it and you're like,
exciting
huh?
part of like Halo? Because what was the exciting bit in this map?
But everything kind of like
Like I
even
don't
if you
know.
didn't know Halo, because I never played Halo, I know what it is, but I never played it.
Is it the fact that
Um,
the doors opened or like what?
nah, but just everything. Like okay, Halo was admittedly the least groundbreaking or the free maps. I would even include Tron, like his
Mhm.
volume 2. Um, but yeah, but I can't explain it, but when they came out, they were fucking groundbreaking maps. Like even time traveling, they were like so complex, it was just amazing. And nobody else was doing like themed maps at the time. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's
Trying
fair.
to
Like I
think
mean,
of
he's
like
somewhat a pioneer, but yeah, I maybe I just wasn't in the right circle to
yeah, I'm not trying
give
to
that time.
convince you. I'm not trying to
Uh,
change your opinion. I'm
no,
just
no, that's
saying.
all right. But like, yeah, I just for me, Jacob is all about like Revolt mainly because the map is just crazy good. But the others, like, yeah, time traveling was fine, and then like amazing for the time, definitely. And then else, it's just like too less of a legacy to put him higher.
Did you
On,
know I helped in Revolt? I, I actually play some objects in Revolt.
oh damn.
Yeah.
And about Disaster, on the other hand, like he has more to show. Like I personally really like Avatar, though I feel like Avatar is still my favorite of them, even though it's not the most well executed of them topics. I mean, Abzu is great and all, Journey definitely too, but the thing with Disaster is I feel like his maps revolve more around like it's less less topic but more scenery, if that makes sense. Like there were all rather topics where you don't place as much. Like especially in Journey, it shows that it's mainly just a giant desert map. Well, because yeah, Journey is a full desert game with just desert and all, and that's why it doesn't feel as amazing as a topic to do. I mean, arguably, I guess like you could say the best one is Abzu because Abzu is just has a lot of water elements that are, or at least object-wise alone, something that never really happened in the game yet. Especially like this, I think at one point you used this blocks of like dry grass and made it look like ruins. Like that's fucking crazy, actually. I think it was one of my favorite bits. But yeah, I think it's also not in the end not enough to be goaded because there's a like niche goaded maps, but in the bigger picture maybe just one below the others. But I guess it's also hard to make more maps like this because the entire crafting process is just from thinking about the idea to execute it. It's a lot of work actually. And then Moa, I gotta think about Moa's a Jurassic guy, right?
Yes, a Star Wars guy.
A Star Wars yeah. Honestly, compared to the other two, he's like super low for me. Not that he's a bad mapper, but if I don't know if I ever enjoyed Moa maps as much. I
Well,
would even argue that the Jurassic 2, I think the sequel that lately got out was maybe my favorite of him, and the previous ones I didn't really enjoy them too much. So I would say
uh,
he's a very high above average. I admire his approaches, but never really clicked with me, honestly.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Jurassic 2 was, how do I put this? It was less mover than you think. He did
Was
a bunch. He did the dinosaurs and everything, but a lot of it was Andrew and even
maybe
I have
that's
to.
why I like it more because like I don't know, I never felt like MOBA maps are fun to play. Honestly, I
I
even
think
like
the
the Star Wars
track
2
is better.
more, where
Like,
probably Cookie made more track bits than MOA, and that's probably why I like it a little bit more.
yeah, I moved more down to head potential. I feel like he also never made his magnum opus. Like he never made a map which is like, here is my fucking skill showcase. Eat this. Like
I think
he
the
made maps and they were cool, but
I
it
think
was
the
mostly a motivation
issue
issue for him.
I think the issue with Mauer is he was not good enough like Disaster or Jacob to revolve his entire style around topics, but same time like he also couldn't back it up enough with the overall deco experience or track. I think that's the issue with Moa, that it wasn't too high skilled in a certain sector, and so everything is a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to pick up the pace. We are not even halfway through for today, and we've been recording for an hour and a half.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, but these are like big names. There's gonna be names which are we're not gonna talk so much about. Sea Line. Sea Line for me, above average. He was a great old school mapper, but he never made anything like groundbreaking or like only Impel Down 1 was one map that aged well, I think, of Sea Line maps. And there's like the loops are great, but it's just old school and I'm not really into it. And Adrenaline Pure 2, I think, was another one which was used on Clown Wars and stuff. To me, he's above average, but like not like not legendary or even an excellent for me.
So you're gonna do one by one again? But I mean, to be fair, I mean,
You can, yeah,
I have not
unless
much to talk
unless you
about.
have a lot to talk about someone, then
Honestly, nah, C-Line is just average for me. I have no really connection, and I don't even like Input Down too much. So yeah, that's that.
yeah.
Wouldn't call it bad.
Almanor, I don't feel comfortable rating. I don't know most of his maps.
I don't know if I can say a little because I actually have a scrap project with him, but we never released it. Albanov honestly is one of those crazy scalers. Like he did a lot of not good maps, and then like he dropped Salvation Soul, and suddenly he was like the little Shondex. which is actually fine journey, and I would put him above average just for that because he took the effort and he grew on it. So yeah, above average is fine for him, I would say. And oh
You
my
can go with
god,
Yuri.
just like you start, I want to see where you put him because I feel like you will be less kind than me.
um, I don't know if it's unfamiliar. Um, because he has a lot of maps I don't know. He has a shit ton of maps, but I feel like there's a reason I don't know them. Um, I'm gonna do this and then leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. Like Yuri is kind of the sign for I make boring flatland maps for me. I don't know. Like Shadowland was the anchor for like allowing this era to grow, and Yuri is the one who embraced it the most. I think. I mean, his most famous map is arguably Majesty, which is basically the core flat. But yeah, he's not dog shit definitely because I just feel like I don't know. Does he have potential? I would say to some extent he does because if I look at stuff like Disobey, there is something, and he is also scaling, though he's a really really slow scaler. So overall, yeah, I think you could say he's below average. He could grow still. I'm not sure if he's still mapping because he got inactive. In the end, yeah, he's more than people think sometimes, but it's just never really visible because when you look for Yuri, it's always, oh, here's a flatland map or here's a mid HDM track. It's kind of a shame.
Yeah, I was tempted to put him in dog shit, but I feel like that's unjust because there's so much I don't know that like yeah, I only want to put people in dog shit when I'm convinced they are dog shit.
Yeah, and like if I look at FG, Yuri is actually a blessing in comparison.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about Dexter, but I feel like I'm gonna like keep him in dog shit just for the same reason that he released so many maps and showed no like improvement at all.
I mean, Black Angel kinda hurts to be fair.
Yeah, no, no. I'm good. I feel like it's just gonna stay here, just for the anti-anime memes.
Um,
Realistically, he should be here, but
Alf. I mean, I can start theoretically here because Alf is low-key a flawless mapper who never exceeded, and I would say if I look at all my average tiers, I would put him slightly above it because his maps have more vibe to it, and it's more like there is. I would say there is no bad Alf map. There is no single from volume 1 to 11. There is no bad Alf map, and the most of them have somewhat a vibe to them that they aged at least not like milk, but rather like just okayish. So I would grant him the above average.
well, I'm just average. All of to me, good,
Uh,
great. Like is
yeah.
a like old school CDM, whatever.
He also
Cool.
has great song taste.
Yeah.
Which we, by the way, forgot to mention about Russo. I think Russo has also a good song taste.
Yeah.
Anyway, Exceed. I think it's also one of those members you like a lot. I think. Okay, you already put him on excellent. Yeah, splendid. Uh,
Kinda. Yeah. I'm still thinking. I'm just moving. I'm always gonna. I'm always gonna say where I put people. I'm just moving them here for like.
I mean, for
I
me,
wish there was like a place to put them here while I'm thinking about them, like a separate window.
for
Like
me,
see it what I'm
like
thinking about right now.
Exceed honestly is hard to rank for me. From the outside, he looks like he has more creative than your average mapper. His maps out. I'm just fine putting it above average. I played a few of them. Deadly Fragment, Doctor Who. It's all in all they are a little bit better, but I never really clicked with a map in particular and was like, oh my god, he's insane.
Yeah, I put Sid at the top of above average. I don't feel like he's excellent. He had like some way to go, but he was really good. I
I mean,
liked
he
his match a
definitely. I
lot.
feel like he maxed out the potential of him. Definitely. think he was very good in doing what he does, but yeah.
Cosa Nostra. Ooh.
He's love or hate, literally. That is, I think, like he's a really good in love or hate. For me personally, I think we okay. We seemingly both agree that he's rather high. Less flops and a lot of very good maps. Yeah, I could say he's a legend actually.
Yeah, he's a. I feel like Cosa Nostra's maps are an acquired taste. Like his maps are very restrictive in the way of how you have to drive them. Like they are so perfected the jumps that like they are difficult, but they are difficult
Yeah,
because you have to drive them perfectly. There's not much leeway to fail. And I don't.
remember when you in I think it was in the first episode when you said something like mapper where you always like don't make it to the next jump. That's like literally for me that's the meme of Cosa Nostra. Like every time I hit the edge of a shade cover, it's like oh damn a Cosa Nostra part. Because it happens so damn often when you play
Different
these
'cause-
maps when you're inexperienced. You will always kinda make a jump not quite right and be too slow for it.
Yeah, but it's different because with Cosa maps, I feel like you don't make a jump because you fucked the landing of the previous one. Because it was a part where you, for example, there's a loop and then you have to land before a jump. While I think it was Roskilde where I said like you just don't make the jumps randomly. On his maps, it was literally just going on a straight road and then
Yeah.
you jump and then you just don't reach the jump. Like you were going fucking max speed and it's an FPS issue or something. That's different. With Koza, it's actually like well made and you have to drive it perfectly.
Yeah, it's very rare that it's a bug issue when you play a custom map. That's right. That's why I mean he's basically, but I also say sometimes he's an undercover HDM mapper because in terms of DM, his maps are really damn tough. At least a fair share of them, like uncommon. I mean, okay, uncommon is more obviously, but also like even stuff like the Rumble Force is Volume 5. I think that map is so incredibly tough, honestly. But yeah,
Yeah,
Kosa's
they're
definitely
all
up
pretty
there.
difficult.
Okay.
Libra and Scarge.
They are kind of also a duo, but same time so well in their own rights.
I'm still thinking. I'm thinking.
I mean, I guess we both think just about between like Legend, Excellent, or Gold. For
Yes,
me,
kind of.
even
I don't think they're goats, but uh, I think they both might be legends.
I would say Zebra is a legend and Scarsh is a goat. I'm not too sure though. I will put him there for now. Maybe he's not. I'm not sure. But like starting with Zebra, um with Zebra I have this phenomenon that a lot of people like maps I don't like about him too much, but I'm a huge enjoyer of Viewpoint, and the moment I realized Viewpoint is that great, I thought to myself, could it be that Zebra is maybe nerfed by the community? That maybe like if Zebra would do more maps with like crazy magnetism, I think he would be one of my favorite mappers. Because Viewpoint is literally one of, I think, the greatest DM maps we ever had because it's just so over the place with part ideas simply because of the mixture of his well craftsmanship of decoration and the track itself. Like the map is so damn great. Apart from this, I mean, Zebra was never bad, honestly. Like he's one of those examples. Like he releases a volume 1, and you're like, how the hell is this a volume 1? It's so damn flawless. That's odd. He has never released a bad map, I think, but it's just not enough for me to be a goat. And on the other hand, Scourge is like, I mean, I would say that Scourge's Falling Feathers 2 is like my favorite map of all time to some degree. It's always hard to say this, to pinpoint this, but when I saw it the first time and even after months, I was like, this map is super hard to beat, and I don't know what volume he wanna drop next, but it will be damn hard to beat this map. And even before that, like every time a Scarge map drops, sometimes I mix his name up with I don't know how to pronounce it, but I don't know. I never felt like he can make a bad map ever since like Agony, his volume 10. He had, of course, the scaling, but after this, like At this point, I even say that when Scarsh releases a map, your map of the month is lost.
Yeah, kind of.
Basically, you won't win if Scarsh drops a map. Then it's over. It's over. But that's why I guess I have to put him on gold because that's like a quality not everyone has.
Yeah, I feel like Scourge might be the best still active mapper.
So yeah, I think
Yeah.
gold and legend suits them pretty well for me. They're both very high. Wanna add something or we continue?
Yeah, not much. I think I agree. I mean, I put them both in legends. I kind of tried to put them in order here. I keep changing these all the time.
Yes, if I would do the two, then I would probably collapse. Anyway,
Oh, my boy.
oh, you liked Guy? I personally am very confused about him. Like, he's like some niche that I never really understood, like because it wasn't probably my niche, but I would say he's above average. He made interesting maps, not great maps, but very interesting ones. He
Yeah, I
had
mean,
an
his
interesting
maps
type of
were
skill.
until like volume 88 were pretty dog shit. And I hated all of his maps when they came out. I thought they were dog shit. And then I really started liking his volume 8, 9, and 10 after. Not enough to I don't think is above average, but he has a special place in my heart for those three maps, definitely. Even though he's just gonna be average on my rating.
Yeah, I mean it's valid. It's like he's an odd case of mapper, honestly.
Interesting ones coming up. 10 times Mox and Yummy.
Oh my god. So
10
10 times,
times.
like okay, wait. 10 times. I will do what I will put him on legend, honestly. Like honestly, I don't really think he's a super great mapper, but 10 times is in terms of agent probably the mapper with the most unique spot. 10 times I feel like was never a good mapper, or like at least a very good mapper, but he has so many things going for him. Like at first it's still for me wild that he had like literally 10 maps. He map like he has 8 volumes, 2 feats. It's like still I like this fact. It's just so wild. What I also like about is like the way he did stuff, because like his first 2 maps, okay, they are just there, but then like his naming alone is so interesting. You have like the Doomsday Part 1, which is Inception, then the continuation, then you have a map in between named Towards the End of, which is kinda then like leading to Doomsday Ending. And then after the ending, he's reborn, and then after reborn, he makes a map one last time. And like I don't know, it's just I don't know how intended this pattern is, but it just feel like it's a super cool thing that it is there. And to the content of the maps themselves, like I feel like it is super hard to map the way 10 times does, because I analyzed these maps once like years ago, because I was wondering how the hell does such a map happen, like any of those, and I can't get it. I don't get how you map like this. Like there's so many decisions in those parts he does that make no sense. That when you are a mapper and you have like your mapper mind, there are so many red flags in the way he does parts. Like so many stupid decisions in core. Yet every time you play his maps, it's like it's just kinda working well. Sure, okay, he has the title bug time sometimes, and yeah, it's not every time working that well playing his maps, but in core he has creative ideas, he has also partly very great executions, and all his maps feel like super unique. And even though there are like two different people making for the love of 10 times, I never felt like they were anywhere close. So that's why I think this guy is a legend in his really weird way. You can map like him, I think. That's my take
Interesting.
to 10 times.
I just put him in above average. To me, he is interesting. His first 4 volumes aged really well for me. I think they are my favorites. Like they are shit, but they are old and shit, and they have a charm to them. I like them. Volume 5 and 6 are playable. I enjoy them sometimes, and his Volume 7 and 8 I don't like. And I don't think it's excellent. I don't think it's a potential issue. I think it's just at the top of above average. Feels little bit harsh. Um, but yeah, I don't know. His track were it was always really rough,
I mean, it is
and
valid.
it was his style. So I'm glad that it was like that. I don't know. I might have ranked him lower if his track was better. It's a weird one, but yeah, it's I like the way he maps because it is his way of mapping, but it's shit. It's
Basically, I
I don't
mean,
know.
I mean, he's like this type of guy where no one really knows why he got so far, but yet he is there, and now we gotta live with it.
Yeah,
Like on paper, it makes no sense that 10 times got to the prestige he got, but like it happened, and I really like that it did. Oh, you're already placing Mox.
Mox I think is excellent. Yeah, I think he was really good. He had great ideas, great execution. Not all of his maps are super special, but the latest ones definitely are. I like Silently Falling Free. I feel like it's pretty well made. Nerves of Steel is another one which is, I think, pretty well made. Whatever I don't like about that map is made by me, so I cannot blame him for it. Um, yeah, I think he was excellent. I don't think he was a legend or anything, but he was pretty solid.
I mean, yeah, the thing with me about Mox is that I just feel like he left too early. I feel like he was about to peak really hard and then he just stopped. It's like, I don't know. I think the first time I noticed this was when Nerves of Steel came around and I was like, oh damn, that guy from Silently Falling can actually cook quite well. And
I mean,
then,
he's
and then, and then, and then, especially it skyrocketed again after like he dropped this one video of his potential volume 4. And I was like, when he did that back then, holy hell, we lost a great guy before he like actually really, really exceeded. Not like he was bad before, but like he definitely left too early. It was at least my feeling.
yeah, he's a good guy.
But yeah,
Yummy.
so far also excellent. Yeah, we will differ. I can already tell we will totally differ with the guy because that's the third guy of my inspiration.
Mm,
And while I can say yes, he is not a goat, unlike GD Taro, I think in my own right to say he is, for me personally, a real legend. For the main reason that, I mean, to be fair, I think there isn't a single mapper I studied as much as Yami. I studied him so hard because I was looking for his maps. Like for me, it was an entire side quest arc I was going because like I met him with. At first, I played this volume 7, but with the name Go Karuri, Sword Princess, and
yeah,
I didn't know it was the same guy because I was like, holy fuck, what a weird bad map. And then I played Beast Mode skill with the name Yami and was like, damn, what the hell? That's a great map. And then I think sometime later I met ER, and then I was like, oh, there are more maps of Yami. Then someone told me, yeah, there's also Asna, and Asna is actually Yami. And then I saw Asna Volume 7 and was like, why is this name like the Sword Princess map? And then I'm like, oh my god, this is the same mapper. And then
yeah.
I was looking more, and then suddenly
Fucking
Koneko
man.
appeared, and it was another Yami alias.
I mean, can you imagine Relux and Ice Cube and I when we were trying to like fucking just make sense of the guy's maps, and then he actually messaged us or like wrote it in the mapping Discord a few months ago, and it was like he wrote it out, and then it still didn't make fucking sense.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
actually
in
wrote an
like
entire message of his maps, and I wasn't smarter after reading it than I was before it.
I mean, do you like back then on like a little excursus like in Pokemon back then before the internet was really a thing, there was a lot of theories about stuff in the game like you can capture here Pokemon Mew under a truck, and I did the same shit with Yami because I couldn't figure out what's happening. Like I had theories about the guy like, okay, wait, there is like hard anime style 3 and 4, but like what's with the others? Then I
Yeah,
noticed like, okay, wait, there's a map named Asuna Kurumi and a map named Kurumi Nightmare 2. And the thing is that Kurumi is an anime girl, Kurumi Nightmare, okay, maybe like Kurumi is the first part, then Nightmare 2 is the second, then Hard Anime Style 3, Hard Anime Style 4, and then he dropped Inside V later on. I was like, oh my god, that's a 5 series.
yeah,
That's the
because
type of shit
he
I did.
kept naming maps with numbers after them. Then for a while it made sense because if it was like okay, so map name one, then different map name two. It was like okay, I see the series of numbers and the names are different. And then he dropped the list of his maps, and he was like, no, 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 no. Whatever map is the third one in this series, actually there's a one and two, so that's different. I was like, okay, so why is there four and five? I was like, no, that's just a map. So like, why is it four and five?
I mean, I think actually it's also more canon that actually the first two parts of that one series is like special for LFS 1 and 2 because their style makes more sense. But I
I
don't
don't
know,
get it.
man. I
It's like fucking
actually. Uh,
Razor. Like he Razor, like the old school mapper Razor. Where is he? Was he an above average? Where did yeah, here. Razor. He released his maps in the following order: Volume 9, Volume 11, 12, 10, then
Perfect.
13, then 14.5. There's no 14. 14.5, then 14.9, then 15, and then 16. And he managed to lose the 16th map. Like, huh? Or like Russo did the same. There's no Russo Volume 13.
And that's that, but that sense. Actually, I once asked him because Russo, this was the volume 12 that's missing, and I was
12, yeah,
asking him once
12.
if it was Joseph's because Joseph's was like just a non-volume map, and then I think what he said was that volume 12 is already finished, but he has some connection with this map that the moment he will leave the game for good, he will drop it. It's like his final map. It's already set in stone. That the moment we will see Russo Volume 12, it will mean that Russo leaves the game. That's what he said at least back then. I'm not sure if he still sticks to it, but that's what he told me at least some years ago.
I believe that. I still wonder why 12. Like, why leave it out and why not just release it at the end? But maybe it's something about the number
He's an
12.
artist. I told you he's an artist. If he makes decisions like that will make sense for him. It's like part of the art, I think.
Like an ARG in MTA. Okay.
That's a Russo thing. I'm convinced that it's like this. Anyway, we're getting a little off topic. In the end, yeah, I had more stuff. Like for example, Stella is a map of him, and then he dropped Volume 10 Vermilion 2, and I thought like, okay, Stella Vermilion is an anime character. Like she's literally named Stella Vermilion. But then he debunked this because his Volume 2, his lost Volume 2 was Vermilion 1, which I never saw because it's a lost map. There's so many
Oh,
weird things going on, but in
right.
core, the reason why I put him on Legend is maybe because I am so attached to his entire history because I studied it so damn hard. And it's actually the one map I topped every map in the DM sector. I couldn't get through some HGMs like Nothing to Lose because they're super hard. Um, but above all that, I always felt like he has a really cool approach of mapping, especially Volume 7 feels unique, even though I didn't like it at first. Now I like it. Beast Mode Skill is a very long HDM that's super interesting. Volume 9 has a great style to it. I like that he sometimes makes this anime billboards. I mean, of course, if you like anime, it's a little bit better. Like, if you don't like it, you're like, what the fuck is this cringe shit? Like, he has also the sequences on Volume 9 that makes so much sense if you watch the anime he's portraying. Like, the entire Yami Volume 9 title is just a quote of the anime Plastic Memories, like a very important quote of it. So in some degree, he's actually a topic mapper too. You just don't get it as much if you just don't know the source material. And apart from that, I think for me, he always also strived with a lot of creative ideas in HDM, and his DM maps also are like super fun to play once you got into them. Just a lot of things that combine that I think I really like that mapper so much. It's definitely not enough to put him on GOAT, but yeah, one of
Okay,
my
let's move
favorites.
on because we are 2 hours in and we are only halfway through now of the episode.
Yeah, there are a lot of great
And I
mappers
have
with, yeah.
like maybe another hour. So Okay, quick fire round. What do you say?
Alright. Yeah, we can do, even though
SK2.
there's a lot of great members. Okay. Escadivi. Escadivi is, I would
Yeah, me
say,
too. I'm putting him
I would say
here.
excellent is
Excellent.
valid, honestly. He is in a lot of great projects, even though I don't like him as much in a few of them. Parachuter and Sparks are super cool. And he has a lot
Ronnie.
of influence. Ronnie is one of my favorite people because he was one of my biggest fans actually when I started like developing a prestige around my name. His maps, on the other hand, some I like, some I don't. Overall, I would say he is excellent though because like he's good in the casual sector with Volume 3, but also Throne is a very cool approach of HDM mapping. And also the features he's in like Parachute 3 he definitely can map, and I feel like he has better approaches in mapping than the average mapper.
Yeah, I put him in above average. I prefer him over 10 times, but I prefer Mox over Ronnie, and I feel like this makes sense to me.
All right.
Bright.
Bright is the better Jot, I would say. Has a
Yeah,
lot of
kind of.
very good maps. I think he's also very excellent. Probably the best guy to went to if you want HDM speed experience. It could maybe even be a legend, but I think I'll settle with a high excellent here.
Yeah, I'm probably putting him at the bottom of excellent. I like his volume 4 and 5 and 6 kind of. Not for me entirely, but I like them.
Also, Blinded in Chains is very good, honestly.
Jod,
And yes, that Jord is
uh,
if Bright is a better Jord, then
average.
Jord is he's still above average like Ultra Numb and Fear of Revolution. I honestly don't like Ultra Numb 2 as much, but it's still like a
Me
neat
neither.
map. So I would say he's still better than the average mapper. Matix I only know as the guy from West Side Story, so
Yeah,
I won't
it
rate
was
him.
good, but average. I would say, like, I don't know. He has a lot of maps I really like. I think I'm gonna put him like here, top of average. He was pretty good.
Peach or PJ, honestly, every map I played of him, I never really felt fun, but they weren't bad either, so I guess
Yeah,
he's
I'm putting him
average.
below Matix. I don't know. They're cousins, by the way, I think.
Ah,
Um, I don't know if it's because of Maddox or if it's coincidence, but my favorite Peach maps have Maddox in them.
I see, I see.
I'm just gonna put Maddox over Peach. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make sense. Bad Trip.
Bad Trip is average for me. He has a
Yeah.
very great weapon with Volume 4, but else it's nothing special really.
Like here.
So there's nothing much to say about Bad
And
Trip for me,
the
it's okay. And the I know from maps, I don't know right now. But wasn't he the other part of the first 600 years?
he's
No,
the
no, this was
fucking
Andro.
guy, the hello guys, this is Andy, welcome to my volume
Ah,
5. See you.
unforgettable. Yeah, okay, okay. Actually, average with a side of actually neat touch. Actually neat touch. But
Have
yeah,
fun,
the
don't
map is
forget, bye.
average. The map is average.
Andy,
Below average, not dog shit, but I
you
don't
know like
know. Maybe like honestly, I blame it on the fact that Anti-Z is very good at talking himself up. Like he really likes to talk about the great features he has and the great cool partners he's working with and like how cool the maps look. And every time I play Anti-Z maps, it's like there's a lot of okayish and some bit more exceeding. So yeah, Anti-Z is most of the time the guy that contributes barely anything to making a map great. Like the only positive I could really point out is Smooth Upsurge 1, and that's about it.
I'm putting him in average. I don't have this kind of knowledge about him, so benefit of doubt.
He only does
I'm putting
track,
him
so
there.
much I
And,
can say.
uh, I jumped a
Uh,
bit ahead, but Breaker is the next one, and I'm putting him in legend
Let me,
above
yeah,
Humbly.
that's no, I mean, everyone who played like starting like 2012 or sooner knows that Breaker's a legend. You can just say level up and mind controller and almost perfect. It's all
Yeah,
over the place. That's only fine maps, fine cuisine.
wait,
Aquil,
like this, above average,
I would
above
say he's
DLF for me,
excellent
maybe.
actually. Because Aquil has some maps decorated some maps where I'd say Aquil has a very good idea of how to place decoration to make it look full and very well executed. His tracks are also fine, and that's kind of combining together like. Especially smooth upsurge is also like this one map. I feel like his decoration really shows so well and really half carries the map. Snarfy in potential, I'm not sure if he. I mean, he definitely would have scaled even higher if he mapped longer. I mean, yeah, we can put him here, I think.
Yeah, I
Acid would
like
be excellent.
Stuffy. Pretty great guy. I don't know what is where he disappeared. If anybody knows where Snuffy is and if he's okay, then let me know.
I'm looking for him too, actually. I would like to have another feat with him.
No, he's not even. He's just fucking disappeared. Like I haven't spoken to him in years, and I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, I also wrote him and then was like, never reply. I think, I hope he's not dead.
Above average broken.
Broken. Honestly, I don't like broken maps too much, but I really like Kyoto maps, which are
Yeah,
apparently
I
his
think
name,
he's
guys.
great. I think he was
So
always pretty good. I'm putting him in above average.
yeah, same.
Very solid.
Very high. Like I think my favorite map of him is that feat. I think it was even a feat with Snarfy. That long power trip was it the name? Power trip Kyoto
It's so
X
underrated. I
power
love it.
trip.
I hate it because it's somehow difficult and it's long, and I keep fucking it up. But it's
Bro,
so
I was actually planned to be the first feature part of with decoration, but I was like, nah, okay, it's too long for me because you know
you
what? The
weren't.
map is like 5 minutes
You weren't-
long. It was 9 minutes. It was 9 minutes.
Oh my god. I'm not nothing against you. I'm glad you weren't involved in that map. It's good as is. I think it needed Snappy. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, it's nothing would have is the better fit definitely for that topic.
Upper.
Upper is above average, definitely skill wise. His maps, I never really clicked with them. They are a little bit too boring for me. He has some neat stuff like the Shirin Kyoko map. It was like with this Chinese, Japanese objects. Oh come, oh my god, Saku got me now with the Chinese thing. Oh my god, it's Japanese objects. Else, yeah, it's all clean, but nothing really crazy.
Yeah, I'm putting him in above average. Where did I put him? Wait, what are we talking about?
Average, upper.
Upper. Yeah, he's here. Above average. Near the
And
bottom.
Sink is a legend in his own right. I will put him on excellent though. Like he's a legend, but I put him on excellent because he's not so crazy
Mm,
good. The thing is, Sink
interesting.
is like 10 times a guy who like made his own style. His own style is so fucking bad, but he went so hard in it that it's actually viable. I think that's how you could put it actually.
Yeah, Zink is another guy who is like he has his own style and it's fucking dog shit, but I love it that he stuck with it and that's all he did. And he didn't give a fuck about any criticism. Like kinda props to him. Yeah, I'm putting him like here.
I mean, especially if you think about it, his most mid maps are the maps where he nerfs his own style. Like the moment he doesn't embrace the style, it's like a very boring map usually, or like more
I
boring
only
bits.
recently, but I actually managed to pass his volume 5 and I like it a lot. Like I used to think it was actually horrible. If you have the skill to pass it, it's actually really fun.
My favorite is actually the Volume 7. The Volume 7 is horrendously made, but same time so great. I mean, Wildcard is the worst, but the Volume
Yeah.
7 is like has some sweet spots. You just
Nate.
need to know how to get to the early. Uh, this might sound wild. I kinda. A part of me wants to put him below average, honestly. Honestly, like unironically. But same time, mainly it's this volume 7 that says otherwise. Uh,
I'm putting him at the very top of average, I think.
like
I
average
don't like
sounds
his
just so
maps.
bad for him. Like he's there. He's not average. He's not an average mapper, but at the same time, so he's kind of like action, like has some great maps and then same time, but just he has even more shit maps. Dark Forest was okay. Insatiability 1 is okay. The other insatiabilities kind of suck. Volume 7 is
I
great as hell. Like Volume 6 2 and the other maps again kind of suck.
I really like the objects and the theme of the Feat with Mom and the what is it called?
BB.
BPWRM or whatever
Yeah,
the
but
fuck.
the map itself is also not enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember I wrote a comment on FFS and he got like
Honestly,
pretty upset with me
you
because
know
I
what?
told him I said like amazing idea, but like I wish it wasn't him.
Like,
who mapped it, and it's nothing personal, but I just hate how amazing fucking idea. The map looks really fucking cool, but then it's an HDM map, and it's like, oh, like, can you just let me fucking enjoy this? But it's so I would love to love that map, but I don't because I can
I know
enjoy
what.
like the first 30 seconds of it, and then it just goes to HDM, and I just hate how difficult it is
You know what?
for no
I
reason.
put anti-Z on the lowest tier because it feels wrong to put Nate beside anti-Z, but Nate really isn't good. Like, I don't know. I would say he's really not good, but he has some random peaks for no reason. I feel like if he would stick to his dark speed maps, he would be actually quite super well. But everything else, I don't know. Nate has
Aplex,
just too many weird maps that it doesn't work for me.
yeah, Aplex. I'm putting like
I don't
here.
really know him. I know I have played a map of him, but I can't recall, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. Shooks is amazing, honestly. If it's about decoration, it's amazing. Just like if he's doing just that, excellent mapper.
I'm putting him like this. It's weird having C line here, but
That's very
yeah,
great decoration. Don't have to put him lower than that.
Flash.
Flash is more
Oh,
like the type of mapper who's like always with someone.
yeah.
If he's alone, like he has this volume 1, I don't know, it's okay, but
I didn't even know that map.
I think
But it's
he's
part of
average with a
managing.
tendency for above. Could be, could not be. But it's hard to measure given he's most of the time with Siku or anyone else. But since he is in good maps, I'm sure he's capable of doing good stuff.
HTC.
Legend, straight up. One of my favorite older mappers. I would even say
Mm,
slightly ahead of time style wise with his decorations and stuff. I don't know, it's like the endless control was for me personally was like so ahead for no reason. It looked so well. It felt so gigantic. The way he uses invisibles in his bits in between, super nice. And even Into the Past, which released I think 2014, super adventurous, cool map. I like about every HTC map, and sad that he was gone so early.
yeah, I'm putting him at the top of excellent. For two reasons. One is, I guess it's just one reason: the lack of impact on the scene. He had great maps, but like, he was his. He basically had his own thing, and he never. I don't know. It's a bit too obscure to become a legend. You know what I mean? He was really good,
Yeah.
but it's like kind of under the radar a bit.
For the legend tier, definitely, yeah. Which makes no sense because Godness was very well played, just as like rotations or Dubstep Island 2. He was always there, but somehow not enough, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he was really good though.
Armada. One of my very first maps I really liked was Armada's Temptation in Volume 3.
Yeah,
He's a guy who like it's early he was very great, and then he kind of fell off in the oblivion of like I don't care about him, like for the
kind of.
majority.
Yeah, like he kind of like lost personality in his maps.
But he was always above average, I think. Like even like Expiration is probably my favorite map because the song is super cool.
Yeah.
Else like, that never was a really bad Armada map, honestly.
No, no. I mean, his volume one is me, but it's a volume one, so
Yeah, and for the time it was still solid. Like at Volume 3 it started to get really good, honestly. But yeah.
Elcrow.
Map wise I don't like him. Honestly. Like below average. I never enjoyed the Elcrow map.
I'm gonna
It
like
probably weren't too bad, but they felt so like the unplayable that Moonlight usually brings for me when I play his maps, like it was so much worse on Elcrow. And yeah, that's about it. He made great records and all, but map wise, nah, please not. No need
please tell
for
me
it.
I included. Okay, I included Moonlight just to make sure. Because where did I put fucking? What are we talking about? Elcrow.
Elcrow.
I like his volume two. It's barely playable,
That's
but it.
exactly the map that I don't like.
Yeah, I like the vibe and I like the decoration. It's barely playable, but it's in a result challenging, so it's charming because it's old. It's the case with so many maps like this.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
like do mm, this kind of a punky punk, Crafter Heavy, Spectrum Shen. Yeah, I'm gonna feel yeah, kind of like here. This is not necessarily a like a
Yeah, that's
order, but I'm trying kind of.
Oh man,
Um,
Seabus
what about
goes straight up to legend. He was like one tiny step ahead to be a potential goat. I feel like, but
so
it makes only sense to put him that high. Like from volume 13 upwards, every release was a banger release. I would, even New World itself, maybe even from volume 10 actually. For the time, they were all great releases, but it was never like the little touch of like the absolute best. But never anything wrong with those maps. And I guess Speed Wipes was the real peak of him.
yeah, so Sebas is an interesting case for me. I was actually thinking about him yesterday, um, already preparing for this recording today, because Sebas, to me, my first instinct is also legend. But then I thought about him, and then I realized that he might be a fucking goat, because I don't think anybody can or could do what he did. And it always flew under the radar a little bit, but if you just stop to think about it, every single one of his maps is perfectly double-sided. And no MSTU bullshit. Like this was 10 years ago and like 12 years ago. And every single map of his, if I don't, you don't even pay attention to it, but like they are all so like how do I like the map kind of goes above itself. Like the entire map is so compact. Like he makes parts where you just go back between the already like I don't know how to explain this.
Yeah, it's
Like the
like you
half of
could place a tower. You could like tower it up, and it would be all inside that one tower basically.
not it's not even like above each other, but like play a Sebas Volume 17 sometime on TFF, and you will notice how the entire map is just you go forwards like it's a linear map, and then it turns backwards, and then the track just goes between the already driven track, like the first half of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that
It's
also.
it's 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 really unique, and Sebas also was the first person to use the water jump loops, like the sideways ones in Volume 16 in Speed Vibes. So that was revolutionary. Not revolutionary, but it was like a new thing. His track is so recognizable. Like he was the person who often like rotated the shades in AMT in a way where they were like, you know what I mean. I can't explain, but
Yeah,
you know what the
that's what
Sebas loops
Chippy
look like.
also did in this newer feed request video, and I was like I always wanted to know how they do this because I actually till this day don't really know how this works.
Yeah, but like the more I think about it, I think Sebas is a fucking goat.
For me, it's
He
just
was,
not quite enough. Like as I said, it's like that one little bit of prestige that I would put him high, but I just don't
yeah, to me
think it's
he's
enough.
at the bottom of goats. Like he's not like undeniably a goat, but I think I'm gonna give it to him because I think he had a bigger impact than we realize. I think he's the quietest of the goats.
The DC, but with skill in mapping, basically.
Yeah, I feel like his maps from like a volume 11 or volume 12 up and his feats like you can he had so much personality, he had so much style, and it was always great and always like something that you it was so Sebas like it was like a fucking I don't know, it's hard to explain, but yeah, for me he's up there.
All right.
Next, Mirage.
I only barely know him from features as, and yeah, I know more of him as a scripter and all than a mapper. I won't rate him.
Yeah, average to me.
Royal
Royal.
is like the for me he is a Norby in less prestigious with another name, so average basically. Every time I see a Royal in a map name, it's usually a map that's just like with the daytime light time and it's just okayish.
Yeah, Goku.
Ah, the other HDMer who uses the rather more simple approaches for skill, like Smix. Though I would say he's better than Smix. I would say Goku. Goku deserves to be a legend, honestly. For HDM, he's like a great one. Then, but also for WFF mapping, and I feel like Goku is the guy who makes like the most interesting approaches in WFF with his smaller maps like the Sand map or Rockport. I feel
Yes.
like in his maps it's really about being fast and using creative ways to cut maps instead of weird invis abuse. No, he makes like track that flows well and is visible where you can actually look for jump opportunities and all. That's like just cool craftsmanship. So I think he deserves to be called a legend, even though he's very modern and yeah and all that. But he really puts real thinking into his maps.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put him in legend for the lack of impact and like, yeah, but I really like his maps. I like Imaginazon or Imaginazon. I love his like the the weird maps. You know, the ones you mentioned, Solaris, Rockport, the
Also, River
Sand
Rest.
Rush or whatever it was called.
I mean, honestly,
HDM maps are also cool. Like Demetor is like actually playable even for me, or the Deep Abyss is also pretty playable for
for
me.
Shondex map especially.
Yeah, so yeah, I really like Goku maps. I really like him. So I'm gonna put him like here, a bit like around Nice and Russo and yeah.
Oh, not
Oh,
so.
who's next?
Yeah.
Nazo.
Is Nazo a goat? Is my question right now to myself because
I don't think so. I really fucking love Nazo, but I think he's also just
nah.
excellent.
Legend will do. I think Legend will do because he has a lot of creative styles for the time back then. Like All Falls Down is timeless, literally. Root Boy Skills, I would say, is also timeless, and also his Volume 19. There are less timeless maps that aged not too well, like Dub Paradise, but even those are very good. So I would
Yeah,
say he deserves Legend, definitely. I
top of
think
excellent.
from a creativity sake, he has one of the best maps in the OG sector.
Yeah, I really like his maps, but I feel like he was a bit too niche. Same issue with HTC. I don't think he's a legend. Again, lack of impact and just like his maps aren't iconic. They are really fucking good, and like I love the nostalgia factor. I really love his maps, and I really love him. Great guy. But yeah,
I mean, I would
no,
argue that All Falls Down and Root Boy Skills are iconic.
yeah, yeah. No, it just yeah, it doesn't make sense in my mind. I'm leaving him top of excellent. He was really good, but not quite the level of the people above.
Right then.
Armani.
I'll be honest, below average.
Really?
Look, the thing is the following. I'm convinced that the only reason we know him is that the song is a meme, okay? Like did we play Stereo Mexico because the map is great or because the song is just like vibing with the map? That's like my question because I'm convinced for most people it's just like the hey, it's a Stereo Mexico, and at some point it snowballed so much that people just played it over and over. It's kind of
I mean,
like Mandala or something, but
yeah.
Armani never was that great. And even his later maps, like Volume 6 to Volume 8, I never felt like Armani is a great mapper. Those maps
I like
are
them.
okay at best.
Yeah, I like them. I don't associate Armani with Stereo Mexico. I associate him with Volume 7, 6, and 8, and Land of the Lost, which is a map with Introduction Zero Cool. I really like those. Um, yeah, I'm putting him like at the top of above average somewhere. Like yeah, he's better than these guys. Yes,
Like at
like
the
yeah,
Practice Number 40
somewhere.
was really a good map, and F40 is just really overrated.
Zero Cool.
I know that he has a Volume 4 and that Volume 4 was okay. You are an average bro, it's okay.
I'm putting him above average, like above Armani, almost the same level for me. He had less maps, but I think Volume 4 was great. Volume 5 was okay. I like it. Land of the Lost is pretty cool. He was really unique. I liked his maps.
Oh,
Okay, we
Arrow.
have 22 left. Let's hurry up. Arrow.
Excellent. Arrow is excellent, I would say.
Really?
I mean, I already liked him back then with lack of ability, really, but also other maps, I feel like he never was really bad, and especially now given his Volume 8, but also his other decoration tasks he did over the time, even in my own map, My Darling Zero Two, he can cook really well. Like, and for a longer time now, and he's developing in this sector. I think he deserves an excellent. He's more than above average for me.
Mm, I've put him here, but like above average for me. Nothing too special.
I mean, to be fair, he's also in a lot of HDM maps decorative, so yeah, maybe that's also a lot you're missing.
Nicotine.
Ah,
Hmm.
honestly, like from the outside perspective, I kinda dislike the guy. Um, mainly because like his maps usually always have this. There's always a certain point in his tracks where it gets super annoying. And sometimes it's because he makes features with Shondex, and sometimes it's his own thing. Like, I'm not sure if there's really a map I really, really like from him. Maybe the Volume 12, which is more older. Um, I don't know. Nicotine maps are really weird to play, honestly, in the bigger picture. In this, and overall, he also has some great approaches. Like, for example, I like what he did on Azure Path. That there he did a lot of cool track bits. Aftershock is also kind of cool. I think it's a little bit above average, but I usually if I play a map of him, the overall experience is lacking.
Mhm. I'm putting him in above average, but I recognize that I'm not an HDM player, so I might be missing out on some, some newer maps. I like the. Ooh, he had a volume 12 or 11. He had one with a fucking slam, the pendulum song
Yeah,
slam.
that's Uncheckable Driver. That's Volume 12.
Yeah. That I like that one, and everything after that is like, yeah, not for me. I remember enjoying that one for a bit, and yeah,
Yeah, he's definitely better than average, but somehow
Lex.
it's yeah.
I
Lex
don't like
is
this
a
one.
legend for me personally. I would still put him on excellent. I'm a little bit biased because dynamic skill possibilities is kind of my favorite HDM of all time, which is a little bit weird. Probably, I know. It's just the whole concept of this idea of map to just make raw track and make it like long and hard. It just felt cool to me. Apart from this, I feel like Lex is a really overlooked guy when it comes to neat place decoration and also track ideas. Like if you check his Volume 9 Oasis, you will see there's a lot of cool place stuff. But also on some track with like Road of Destiny, I don't know, I felt like Lex is always overlooked and maybe also a little bit like maybe cooking to less in the modern era, I don't know. But every time Lex is in a map, this map always has way cooler track bits and way cooler decoration bits than a map that's not with Lex.
Yeah, for me, it's just missing the mark. I really don't like his maps. Um, he may have the skill to make a map that I would like. He's free to prove me wrong, but I just really don't like his style. I really don't. It's like I haven't played a map from Lex that I liked.
I mean, I played so many, like even those. Like Lex was actually one of those maps I really got back to his name and then like just went through the maps just to actively look for more Lex content to play. That's how much I like the guy.
Caesar.
Um, kind of legend, kind of not. The Nexus series is very unique. And he made the scripts, if I remember correctly, because he knows a thing or two about scripts. He also has like I think he once posted this a video about Linked, which is a portal-based map. But to focus on what's there. Suicide Skills is a neat series. The second part is really banging. The third is pretty neat. Nature's Lore, the Volume 3 is also pretty neat, and also open world. I would say it's excellent. There are just a lot of really good maps, actually. Also, the feature with Paki Ancient Civilizations. He's done a
Mhm.
lot of great
For me, is
maps.
above average. I didn't like his first maps, which were like nothing special, and then he started involving some HDM elements and some scripts, and those push it him above average for me. But yeah, I feel like I just I'm not sure he had more. I just feel like he went in a direction that I didn't like necessarily.
Let's see,
So
let's
I
see.
think it's just a personal taste thing, but for me, he's above average.
All right, then I'll let you speak while I put him on average.
Fucking TNT the cunt.
I'll just put him on average. You can talk.
Yeah, so uh I don't know if there's anybody who still doesn't know, but TNT is a fucking scammer. He doesn't map. Or he does, but he doesn't really make his own maps. What this guy does is he either asks the feed partners for help, or he just invites random people on the mapping server, like, "Hey, I'm stuck. Can you like help me? Just I don't know, make a few seconds of track." And then he does this with like 5 or 10 people each map. So basically, other people map for him. He has also stolen parts before from people. For example, Skilled Bus 2 was half of it was made by Scar and Royal. If you look up the map thread on the FFS forum, you can see comments of them fighting. For some reason, everyone just let him get away with this. I don't understand. He just made a name for himself, and then he got like too big to take down. But he is dog shit.
Yeah, okay, yeah, put him
Doesn't
on
do
dog
much.
shit then.
He
Feels
made
bad.
the really old maps himself. Like he made the fucking TNT Boss Bang Bang. So I would love to rate those if he wasn't like
Life
So
is
there you
hard.
go. Dog shit.
Okay, the next one is a goat. Like, at least on paper, I wouldn't put him on goat, but he's a legend. Or is he? Okay, wait. I have to differ because the thing is, like, if I hear the name Naval, I always think about the guy in his entirety, and Naval is just exceeding so much with his map, with like not just his maps, but also like his skill as player itself. But um, I think he is arguably even a legend map wise. I mean, Image Image Player is like the modern version of Pure Skill Paradise. Honestly, I feel like it set the new bar of
Yeah,
HDM in
kind of.
2015. He was also always there previously, like with Neil Skill 2 and stuff, and Deep Power Paradise 3. He was always there pushing some stuff. Even though I back then I didn't even notice because I thought like he's just a decorator. But oh boy, I was wrong. um, and even his DM maps, like Volume 9 and Volume 10 especially, even say like suggest that he was ahead of time to some extent. Because his decoration is really well crafted. So like not super very ahead of time, but also like really, really well executed. So yeah, I think Legend is fine for him.
Yeah, I
Even just
agree.
map wise.
I personally prefer the old Naval. I really liked his night stylish maps, and he used to have a really unique style. If you take a look at Rasta Courage 2 or Natural Invasion 2, he had such a unique style. His parts were like really recognizable, kind of like Sebas. These new HDM, he's still great. I love his ideas, and his maps are still much better than the most of HDM. But I feel like even back then and now he hasn't done enough to be considered a goat. But I think he's definitely a legend. All things considered.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know what the perception of the others is. Like, the thing is, ever since Image Player, like, I mean, he didn't really drop too much, but that's even the thing. Like, when he dropped Overdose with Ronnie, I was like, oh my god, Nava dropped the map. Like that's how much value he had at this point for me. Like, I read the name Naval and I was like, oh my god, now we're gonna eat so well in HDM. And I wasn't wrong. Overdose is also super insane. The only issue is that now with the release of Aphelium 3, I felt like this this name kinda crumbled a little because Aphelium
Yes.
3 is really horrible.
Yeah. For
And not
me,
only is it
after sorry, go on.
and the thing is not only is it horrible, it's also partly because of him, because the parts of him are very weird, forced. And that's
For
kind of
me,
ruined
the
it.
HDM Naval is. I like the unmatched player. I like the XPR map, and then after that, his maps are just like I don't see like even over those. I forgot that it was a naval map. Like now you said it, I was like, oh yeah, it was Ronnie feet. Now I knew it was a Ronnie map with feet, but I didn't remember who. It was a naval map. It doesn't feel like it. Sorry. And if
Nah, I
like you
think
just
it
said,
is.
what is it called? Aphelium free.
Yeah, but
I
I mean, a
remember
Feeling
that.
Free, fair enough, is also like Nexasi series. I mean, he also was part of New Age 2, Naval.
Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking, I remembered he was in UH2 and this other map, but I forgot.
Yeah, but a Feeling Free kinda was like a nail. Like, I don't know. This was a little bit. Nah. I
Yeah,
think
but
maybe he's burned out map wise in the sense of that he just cannot push the limit of HDM anymore himself, which is fine. I mean, Naval is like an OG still. He's an OG like he started in 2010 or something. So at some
yeah,
point, that's it's
definitely
actually
like
quite fine to not being able.
negative, above average to me.
I
Really
know the
solid,
guy
great guy.
from enemy territory.
Yeah,
That's okay. Yeah,
he's
yeah,
pretty good.
it can be
I'm
average.
gonna put him like here. Solid, really good
Uh,
guy. Exclusive.
Exclusive. And is it the No Faith in Brooklyn guy?
Yes.
That's okay. That's average till above average, but I would say
His old maps
average.
are all really weird and like hardly playable, and the latest ones, volume 14, 15, are pretty good. I would still put him in average. The old maps are a bit all clunky. I'm gonna put him like this. Exodo.
It's above average. Every time I play
Yeah,
an
above
Exodo map,
average.
I really like the small creativity in them. They're not super banger, but I can recognize them by just like some few bits in his maps.
Yeah. Freezy. Oh, one of my underdogs.
Reese is like, honestly, I'm not sure if Reese is genuinely a cool mapper or it's just like right time, right place. That's always my difference. Because I had contact with him like after all his maps when he was undercover naming, and he told me that his volume 6 to volume 10 happened in an entire summer vacation, like within a span of like I don't know, 6 weeks or something. Maybe it also was 6 months. I'm not sure. Maybe it was 6 months or it's really just like 6 weeks. But Volume 6, Volume 10 were all so close to each other. And I really just feel that his maps aren't that great, but they just appeared in a time where people really enjoyed playing those simpler, easy to top, yet slightly, just slightly challenging maps. And that's why they hit so well.
I don't know. He has a sweet spot for me. He has a special place in my heart, Freeze. I don't know why, but he just had a style which was pretty recognizable, even though his maps didn't stand out too much, and they were all great. Like he doesn't have a bad map, excluding the really old ones.
Might be unpopular, but I really don't like Easy Skilled. I feel like Easy Skilled is borderline unplayable, and I don't know why
Yeah,
people buy it.
he has better maps, but it's not bad. I'm fine with
Bro,
it.
like literally, after 1 minute 30, I just give up on Easy Skilled. Like, I don't know what the fuck after even happens, honestly.
No, but that's a V. He has V11, and I think it's super great.
I mean, my favorite is Volume 4, actually. Get
Yeah,
Loose
All
1.
Get Loose is pretty fucking cool.
Get Loose 1 is so
I like
underrated.
7, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. I like them all.
But
I
yeah,
like
I
them. He was
put him
really fucking
above.
solid. And his volume 11 has a style which was pretty fucking cool.
That indeed is actually an outstanding one, but for some reason he didn't map after it anymore because like he didn't want to or whatever.
Runaway Show.
I think that's another one of those who you like for some reason. I have
Yeah, he's kind of the same. Runaway Show for me is kind of like the Turkish Freeze. He's like really fucking solid, doesn't have a bad map, or like he has good maps and he has better maps.
I mean he is okay for me, I guess. I never really felt like he makes bad maps.
He's
But I
really solid,
don't
and he
mind
has a
him.
few which I really like. He also had like a style which I really enjoyed. Red Line.
Redline. Redline is so one piece. Like literally I don't know the mapper, but nah, I think I read this name alongside Andreas or something. I guess he's average.
Yeah, I mean he's also Turkish. I think he was pretty good. He was above average, but he didn't stand out too much. But his maps were also like pretty solid. So I'm putting him at the bottom of above average. He was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just stick with average. Sora, on the other hand,
Mm,
Sora, like the biggest part of Sora maps is really not to care about. But like this volumes 18 and 19 are just like vibe bangers. So I guess all in all, he's average.
um,
But
I have
like,
personal reasons about Sora. If the last few years didn't happen, I would have ranked him probably average. Kinda, yes. It still might. But then I had personal issues with him. I have a story with him. We have history. And then he also came back and ruined all of his fucking maps with updates.
oh my god.
Um, weird fucking guy. He kind of ruined many months for me. For no fucking reason. Uh, but I'm putting that to the side. And I just wanted to get it out of the way. So I have personal reasons. I'm coming clean, but I'm trying to ignore it. He was always pretty clunky with maps, right? Like he was kind of like Kacha in a way. Like he made bad maps, but they were playable and fun and nostalgic.
I mean, I
Whereas
think the main
there's
selling point
Kacha,
for
I'm
him.
putting him like kind of like yeah, but then he came back and fucking ruined them all.
I mean, for
Yeah, I'm
me,
putting
it's really
him like
just 18 and 19. Like, I don't know, those are the most iconic. The others, like, yeah, okay. If it
putting him there.
wasn't such a mess and it's just those two maps, I would say is above. But yeah, there was just some
Right.
hits. Oh, so many people like Royce, and I see he can map better. Like, that's it's kind of like Kuhn, you know. Everyone likes this Volume One, and I feel like, come on, Volume One is the most boring map he has.
Volume 1 is kind of like a copy of Phenomenal a bit.
But I
It
would,
bites it bites fake death a bit too much, and so does Volume 2, to be fair. He has like Dutch fake death, I feel like.
but I would say he's above average, definitely. Like,
Volume 3 was
a
cool.
little boring, but I mean, I like Volume Two the most probably, or Volume. I think there was a Volume Four, at least, or Earth Meets Water Two, at least. But
Yes.
the Earth Meets Water is the better one, I think. The others just like a little bit too generic. Oh, talking about generic, hello Dharmas, what up?
Yeah. Bro,
Um,
brother
I
stays in
have
the family.
I put him on average because he's a really good track mapper. But his maps are so fucking boring. Like by all means, like, ah, I get that he's also better in track than like your average flat mapper. But oh come on, oh
The best
come
map
on.
Domus has is Volume 4, and it went under the radar. It's called Accelerate. It's actually a tiny bit more difficult than all of his other maps, and it has a good song. I really like
I
it.
mean,
The rest are pretty boring, but like well made,
I mean,
really well made.
the best one he's in is probably a Sense of Speed 2, I think. I mean, I played also the volumes, but oh my god, Damas.
Banshee, underrated mapper, really fucking
Oh
good.
yeah, I'm going with that. Like,
He's excellent, I think.
mm,
Not a legend. He was
given the
around. He has
latest
been
maps he
around for a long
is,
time. Hmm?
given the latest decoration bits of him he is, yeah. Also, some track ideas, like some track is so funny executed that I'd say yeah. But most of the time he's average, but like with the latest, yeah, he's getting into deserved excellent.
Yeah, he's a long timer. He's an old timer. He's been around
Yeah.
for as long as Pavlo has, for example. But yeah, he's really fucking solid. He's really good and a good guy.
I really like his maps too. Same
So
as GameX actually. GameX fits this topic also. So where GameX started, like GameX went from dog shit for like 10 maps straight to like getting better, and then at some point he's actually one of the arguably top decorators of the more modern era. Like he does really good decoration at this point, and with Breakdown Rush he even managed to make some good tracks. I would say, I mean, the super modern GameX is excellent, even, but I think I still put him a little above average. Like it's like high above average, I would say, because there's just so many of those maps.
yeah, I don't know why I don't like his maps. I don't like this style. I don't know. I don't know why, but I just don't. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I don't like it. It's Mm,
I mean, I made a for the love of his volume 22, so.
yeah, and he also has like, he took his fucking time. I'm gonna put him like this somewhere. I think I'm putting red line here, and then GameX like here somewhere. Okay, 5 left. Explode, Danico, BC, Memphis, Tino, the
Oh, Explo,
Latino
Jesus
team.
Christ. Explo is hit or miss, honestly. It's
Explo
mostly a
was
miss for
okay.
me.
He was an okay mapper. His maps were always clunky, and then he came back, and his new maps are shit. Sorry, I don't. When I don't who was it? I think it was Action who you said that had the worst comeback, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of Explo.
When did the
I
Explo
was so
comeback
excited to
start,
have
though?
him
At
back.
which volume did it start?
I was so excited to have him back when he came back, and his new maps are just not for me. Average
I
at
like for
banger.
real, like I know mainly Explore Volume 13, which is cool, and else it was like with a plain boring maps. I don't know.
This Nico.
I feel like it's like not really. I guess I put Explore on below average. I'm not sure.
Nico is, I don't know, mid.
Mm, I
He
mean, he's
has
a
made
funny
so many
guy, but map wise, I loved the disaster series. That's the thing. But you know, my favorite thing about the Nico is that he made a DC collection type of map with maps that no one even knows, and they all feel the same. That's like my peak the Nico moment. But where do I place that guy?
here. But he has so many maps, but he
I
has,
think
you know what?
average in the end.
He has one great map which I really like. It was the Predator, the Moonlight Volume 8 remake or like tribute.
That I
Apart
don't
from
even
like
know.
one fucking rock in the track that I had to fix on TFF, it's great. I really like it. It's really well done. Apart from that, mid, like I cannot name anything memorable about him. He's good, but
The Nico peaks a disaster, I think. But yeah.
PC.
Meow Meow Mapper. BC in himself is in a lot of good maps, honestly, and given his solo maps, I could say he's definitely also partly a reason that maps can be good. So I would say he's above average for those flatland clicks. So yeah,
I'm putting him in average.
he's higher for me.
Super memorable. For me, BC is still the guy who made the Volume 6, the special great mappers map. It was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
That one.
It's still his most memorable map for me, so I think that says a lot to me. Average. Memphis.
Memphis is a great player. As a mapper, I would say is in a lot of strange features. Like actually with quite good mappers like Rage or DLF. Or GT
I don't
Terror
even know
even.
how many maps he has.
But
Let's Yeah, he has 2 maps with GTO Taro.
yeah, two of like Ostenster races or is this two or something or like
Yes,
something
yes.
and the Smiths map I think or however it was called and he has then is part of the Rage feature. I forgot the name of it.
Rage feature.
Yeah, Memphis Feed Rage is like some map with
Oh, I know what
a lot
you
of
mean.
orange
Yeah,
loops and
Java
nature. Java,
something.
yeah,
Super Java.
Super Java, exactly.
Yeah,
And I
I don't
think
have the
another
map on my
DLF map. So all in all, I think he's average to above average. He definitely does some track bits there, but like
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
it's a
putting him
little bit
like
hard to
at the top
measure.
of average
Definitely
for me.
not bad. And then the
Uh,
last is Tino. Tino I know only from one map, and this is Tino feat Simon dreaming something or whatever the hell this is.
yeah,
Um,
he had a
yeah, not enough
cool
to
volume
make.
2. It was what is it called? Summer Beginner. And then he had the volume 3, which was recorded by Nitron, got Cloudy. It was cool.
Summer Beginner is such a banger name.
And it's a really good map. That map was out of its time. Volume 3 was meh, okay. And the map with Simon, it stops being good when Simon's part begins. Sorry. So Tino for me, I think Tino had potential. I'm gonna put him there.
Yeah, I just put him on card radar. I have no clue about him.
And that was it for today.
Yeah, we
It was
just got
almost 3
460.
hours. Jesus Christ.
Like, we thought it would be faster like this, but then we got so many members where you have to talk more about, and then ended up not
Yeah,
being
it was a
faster.
banger episode. We had to talk so much because there were a lot of goats and legends.
I mean, sadly, or whether it's like good, we have even more ahead now. Like, even this next row, like, we have got Raven, we got Beats, Under, Benjas, Gurk, Mohamed, they are all pretty good. And
Console, Rafinha,
Faisal,
Sezika,
Cookie, Finn,
Viscous, Tulio,
Johnny.
EC,
I don't know who that BriaN guy is. Gazoil, Kun. There's a lot of people to talk about actually.
Moonlight, Skotinka, Jumbo, Disaster. That's gonna be controversial. Stuntpool, Danks,
That's still gonna be
Poeta.
controversial. You think?
We'll see. Moita, No Type, Known,
But
Pecky,
yeah, those
whatever.
will be
Yeah,
next episode.
it's
Oh,
gonna be a good
Dink!
one.
Dink is a Nova.
Hmm?
I just saw Dink because he's also a Nova now.
Uh,
Really
Slow
funny.
Sheep is there. Yeah, gonna be a good episode. I feel like the distribution of the macros is good. Like there's gonna be some bangers in every single episode.
Yeah,
Maybe a
definitely.
bit less new mappers in this one, the next one, but there's a few that are still active. Helios, Benny,
Oh, Helios will be good. Anyway,
Bean.
no more ahead. It's time to end this episode. I don't know how many episodes there will be, by the way.
I
I
mean,
mean,
judging by this, we are doing 100 an episode, so I feel like
yeah, like maybe there will be like 20 more mappers once we're done. Like the join. Maybe we see ourselves in 2025 once we're done. But anyway, until next time, and yeah, bayonara.